This is it, the final day of spring training. The Diamondbacks getting ready to embark on a new season. Expectations are high. The defending National League Western Division champs get one more warm-up before they start the season against their division rivals, the Giants. It's the Brewers taking on the Diamondbacks, and it's next on Fox Sports Arizona. One more day of Cactus League baseball in the great state of Arizona, though in the big league ballpark it has that feel. It's getting close. It's the Milwaukee Brewers. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks. The final day of spring training 2012. Oh, it's good to be back home, isn't it, folks? Championship baseball played last year here at Chase Field. Hi, folks. It's good to be back with all of you. He is Mark Grace. My name is Darren Sutton. We missed you all winter long. Glad to have you back in this championship ballpark celebrating a year ago. And we talk about getting a season started, Gracie. After what occurred last year, I think everybody's chomping at the bit for Friday.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I think they've been chomping at the bit for quite a while now. Spring training, it's starting to lag on now. It's starting to drag on now, if you will. Well, these guys want to get started, and they want to get off to hot starts, all of them.
I will present to you three guys that had very good springs, and I say all for very different reasons. Miguel Montero in the middle, flanked by Chris Young and Goldschmidt.
Well, I think Miguel Montero first. He's a free agent after this year. The Diamondbacks and his people couldn't get an extension to come to an agreement to. So this is a walk year for him possibly. That usually means he's got something to play for. Paul Goldschmidt, well, you see the numbers there, the 11 RBIs, but what really impressed me, he had a lot of walks, and that's what you love. You love on-base percentage. And, of course, Chris Young, with the addition of Jason Kubel, maybe that little fire under the center fielder as well.
The touch of Kurt Gibson. That is a total Gibson and Kevin Towers touch. And speaking of Gibson and Towers, they got together. There's some surprises coming up with the roster, and it's really not at all what you would think of. Jody Jackson will join our telecast again. It's great to be back here at Chase Field. More with Jody and us right after this. Baseball is brought to you in part by Jack in the Box. Do you love bacon? Then try the new BLT cheeseburger combo right now at Jack in the Box. It's only $4.99 plus tax. AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Gila River Casinos is the proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Final spring training game for the Diamondbacks here in 2012 on Friday. It will be opening day. Jody Jackson back with you on the field here at Chase Field, getting set for the Diamondbacks to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, final roster moves also happening today, and some moves to tell you about. As expected, shortstop Stephen Drew will start the year on the DL. Of course, at Salt River Fields, he's only been able to take grounders and work out. He has not had any spring training game action. Hopefully that will happen soon, though. Last night, Diamondbacks management and the medical staff met to figure out how to accelerate Drew getting into games. And so Kirk Gibson saying today there really is no timetable. Drew will be with the team this week and then eventually go back to Salt River Fields for extended spring training action. All of this due to the injury he suffered last July, where he injured 3 ligaments and broke a bone. Other moves to tell you about, though, also on the pitching staff. Wade Miley has made the opening day roster. The left-hander will be a long reliever in the bullpen. Mike Zagurski outrighted Torino. And Takashi Saito, he will be on the DL to start the season. He has a calf strain suffered yesterday, and the MRI did confirm that. So, Darren and Gracie, as we send it back up to you, just your thoughts on the way the bullpen shapes up with Wade Miley in there as a long reliever. We saw last year with Micah Owens filling that role for a while that it was very beneficial at times for the D-backs.
Yeah, Jody, good to have you back. I think, Gracie, a good question with regard to Wade Miley. I think with the tough springs that Josh Colementor and Joe Saunders had, I think Wade Miley is honestly insurance to pitch deep into games. If, in fact, those two guys can't, they'll both pitch today for the Diamondbacks. As we take a look at all 5 starting pitchers, Saunders and Cahill with Colementor pitching last night, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think you're exactly right. I think Wade Miley, a starter his entire career, he is a guy that's going to be insurance, and especially in April when some of these guys, they haven't really stretched it out past 5 innings in spring training. So you really need your long men in April and even into early May. I think that's a big reason why Miley made the club. But the 3 guys on the right, everybody knows what Hudson and Kennedy can do because they were so good last year. For the Diamondbacks to repeat, they've got to have more good things out of the back into the rotation. That includes Saunders, Colementor, and I'm excited to see what Cahill can do his first year in the National League.
He's pitching in relief of Saunders today. We'll see them both again. We will have the action, the starting lineups. It's the Milwaukee Brewers, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks, and you. Glad to have you with us. Park last night with a win over the Brewers. They wrap up spring training one more time, making sure that all works properly. And don't you know, Ron Renicky has the same goal before his team heads back to the Midwest. Make sure it all works out. The skipper of the Milwaukee Brewers, right there with Gibson in that race. Of course, Gibson, the National League Manager of the Year. 96 wins. Let's take a look at his starting lineup. And at the top, the very dangerous Ricky Weeks. Nyjer Morgan will platoon in center field with Carlos Gomez. Ryan Braun, it's been a very tough spring. Will be an intriguing season to follow. Aramis Ramirez, in a way, replaces Prince Fielder. That is tough to do. Corey Hart is finally healthy. Matt Gamble is the new first baseman. Alex Gonzalez real stable at short. Matt Lucroy, a long-term deal, is the catcher. Sean Markham is on the mound. It's an important day for him, too. As it is for this man, it's Joe Saunders. He's 30 years old, Virginia born and raised. A tough spring. He had a tough April last year, Gracie. I think it'd be nice for him today to have a good end of spring training.
Well, you always want to finish on a high note, and Joe Saunders had a bad spring last year. Well, he had an awfully good season to follow that. But, yeah, you want to start feeling good about yourself. Even as a veteran, you need that boost of confidence going into the season. And he wants to get that today against a very good hitting Brewer club.
Kirk Gibson made it clear. I want my pitchers, specifically Saunders. He's one of the guys. He is, along with Daniel Hudson. I want them pitching better early in games. So get it going here. We're glad to have you with us. Ricky Weeks, right-handed slugger, takes a pitch a little bit low, and we're underway. The final tune-up of spring training 2012. Beautiful day for baseball. Great to have the roof open. Wish we could have it that way all the time. 1-1 the count. Yeah, just one of those spring training kind of days, isn't it, folks? We'll enjoy the roof open into June at least. High fly center field. Young tracking. Well, this is his playground, isn't it? He makes it look easy. Just his second game back here. Last night, remember, was a night game, and tracked that one perfectly.
Yeah, that was a well-hit ball off the bat of Ricky Weeks, a guy with a lot of power that hits in the leadoff spot. Weeks gets a fastball to his liking and hits it about 400 feet to center field. But here, you got to go about 415 feet over that big wall in center. And like you said, Chris Young, very comfortable out there. Wake up, Chris.
Carlos Gomez got the start when Kirk Gibson flip-flopped Saunders and Cahill pitching today. Nyjer Morgan was originally supposed to start. These two are platoon. Strike one to the speedy Carlos Gomez. He's got his reasons. He will see both. He will see Saunders and he will see Cahill. Line drive, base hit. Gomez eases on into first. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively. As the new left fielder fired that one back in. Jason Kubel, for today anyway, replacing a Gold Glover in Gerardo Parra. Young at Upton with Roberts, Bloomquist, Aaron Hill, Goldschmidt, Miguel Montero, and Joe Saunders. There is Jason Kubel. He is going to like offensively this ballpark as long as he can make enough of the plays out there and left. Boos ring down on Ryan Braun as he digs into the batter's box. And what could be deemed for Ryan Braun personally, I would imagine a very challenging winter. The spring has followed suit. He's finally starting to heat up a little bit. But Ryan Braun hitting just 200 this spring. He does have a couple of homers, slugging .378.
It just can't be easy after all the things that went down with him this past winter and this spring. It just can't be easy to come in and put everything behind you and just start swinging the bat like you always have. I would imagine that takes a toll on you mentally. And this is a guy that, prior to this year has been adored by fans of Major League Baseball. And I would imagine because of what went down, I would imagine he's going to hear it pretty much everywhere he goes.
Tested positive for a banned substance,
right.
Was suspended for 50 games, and Braun had that ruling overturned by an independent arbitration process in which the testing process, not the actual results, but the testing process and how it was all handled, had it overturned. And I interrupted you.
No, you didn't interrupt me at all. You basically talked about why he's going to go through the things he's going to go through this year. And there's a lot of Milwaukee Brewer fans that are really happy that got overturned because this guy is a special baseball player. MVP last year, Rookie of the Year years ago, well-deserved Rookie of the Year.
Now, last year's numbers were stunning. On base of .397, he slugged almost .600. This is something that Joe Saunders, whether his his game is up or his game is down, holding the running game down is a true strength.
Well, he does a good job of keeping runners at first, and what that does, it keeps the double play in order. And Joe Saunders last year, one of the best in all of baseball at inducing double play ground balls.
28 double plays rolled up a season ago. The runner on the move, pitch high and inside, and it's a stolen base. Did all he could, but in the end, a stolen base there. It's a speedy duo when you talk about Gomez and Morgan, a true platoon for the Brewers. They'll both swipe a bag for you, though.
Montero does everything he can, but you see the great speed by Gomez. In there easily.
Montero, one of the best in throwing out opposing base runners last year. Really grew as the season went along. And Miguel will be the first to tell you, I got better, yes, because my throws were a bit more accurate. My footwork got better. But you know what else helped? The manager mandated that the pitchers help me out.
Absolutely, yeah. A catcher, I don't care how good your arm is. If your pitchers don't do a good job of holding the runners on, I mean, Sandy Koufax and Randy Johnson aren't going to throw anybody out.
On 2-2, instead of look back, you saw Henry Blanco a moment ago. He is kind of a player coach. He, plays and dresses with the players, but
he's older than most of the coaches.
He's a guy that was a big, big help. Real honest in the ear of Miguel Montero, and sometimes honesty's the best thing. Kind of a big brother, if you will. The 2-2. Low and inside. Braun he'll patiently take a walk at any point. And again, I think part of finding your swing when you're struggling throughout the spring is taking a look at as many pitches as you can.
Absolutely. You want to try to see just what this guy's changeup is doing. And also, once you get into the regular season, if you're first at bat, you can see a bunch of pitches. Like right now, Ryan Braun has seen Joe Saunders' fastball, his slider, and his changeup. There's going to be no surprises later in the game.
A mile high, it's shallow center. Young again, fighting that sun. You could tell by the angle at which he approached the baseball and his body language that is a high sky, and he fought it well.
Number 16.
You can see, oh, don't you dare go in that big ball of fire. Don't you do it. Okay, I got you. He is fun to watch play center field. He's one of the best in the game, one of the best I've seen in a long, long time at just going and getting them. Now, doesn't have the throwing arm he'd love to have, but he makes up for it by hitting cutoff men.
Off the end of the bat, new Brewer, Aramis Ramirez. He homered 26 times a season ago, drove in 93. Slugged over 500 for the then Chicago Cubs. He, like a lot of power hitters in spring, having a time heating up.
And Ramirez is one of those guys that's a notorious slow starter. The guy that does most of his damage after the month of May. And in Chicago the last couple of years, Ramirez got off to slow starts, and by the time he started to heat up, the Cubs were already out of it.
Runner in scoring position, 2 outs. The breaking ball never got there. I'll tell you, if you were to transplant yourself back to the Midwest and have a chance to talk with Brewers fans 1 year ago and say, hey, what do you think of this Aramis Ramirez cat? Do you like him, this guy that plays for the Cubs? They'd laugh in your face.
No, they'd say, no, we can't stand him because he's a very good player on our rival ball club. Now the crew fans love him, don't they?
If he hits,
well, he's going to like hitting in that ballpark. Milwaukee, a very good hitter's ballpark, but also replacing, a stalwart, if you will, in Prince Fielder in that number 4 slot.
Well, and I would argue a guy who was kind of the heartbeat of the club in Prince Fielder, not Ryan Braun. That guy's Prince Fielder. Braun puts up the monster numbers as that one is fouled off. And again, is the image, the face of the club. But within that locker room for the Milwaukee Brewers, that was Prince Fielder's clubhouse. So more responsibility, not only his public image, which he's working on, but taken over as a more important part of the room. Out front of an off-speed pitch. Ramirez will jog his way up to first. That's the third out. Some things never change as we roll on. Bottom half of the first. What hasn't changed is Joe is ready to go. Back at the Ball Yard, scoreless contest. An important day for Sean Markham, and we'll talk about that in a bit. For Kirk Gibson and the Arizona Diamondbacks, obviously an important day as well. The final tune-up. Willie Bloomquist, Ryan Roberts, Justin Upton with Miguel Montero in the cleanup spot. Chris Young, number 5. Jason Kubel is in left field. Paul Goldschmidt bats 7th. Aaron Hill is the second baseman, and Joe Saunders, he bats 9th. So Sean Markham, stiff shoulder. It's just first start in quite a while, and you can see what he did last year. He's going to be limited to 75 pitches, but a shoulder plagued him in early spring.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. But Markham, a guy that, well, he's just had success everywhere he's been in the American League with the Toronto Blue Jays, and he came over in a trade last year and did just more good things for the Milwaukee Brewers. A guy that not overpowering at all. He's going to be in the mid to high 80s with his fastball. He just changes speeds. He's got some good off-speed stuff, and he's got the heart of a lion.
You're exactly right. Will not overpower you. Loves to use his outfielders. He is not necessarily a ground ball pitcher. That's Willie Bloomquist. He has the outfielders busy. That one is down. It'll roll for a while. Run, Willie, run. The veteran picking him up and putting him down, and that's a veteran move right there. He stops with the double. I'm guessing if this is a healthy Willie Bloomquist and it's June, he's thinking about 3. A leadoff double for Willie Bloomquist.
Now Bloomquist gets a fastball down and away, and that's right where he loves to hit the baseball, to the big parts of the ballpark, back up the middle, and he just rifles this one into right center field, and it's a leadoff double. That's good to see because it was a struggle for Willie this spring.
And again, shortstop is his. He will play a majority of the games at short. Obviously, John McDonald will help him out. But there's your starting shortstop. Willie hit just 169 this spring, and that's what you're speaking of. Here's Ryan Roberts. Very popular Diamondback, certainly, and for good reason, as that one misses outside, just off the plate. Roberts with 19 home runs, 65 RBIs a season ago. And he's got 4 more home runs this spring. Slugging .525 here in Cactus League play. Pinching in the middle is the infield. A couple of steps in the middle of the diamond as well.
And this is an opportunity for Ryan Roberts, who hasn't hit much in the 2-hole this spring. Aaron Hill down in the 8-hole now, but Kirk Gibson really wants these guys to do a better job of situational hitting, and that would be, you'd like to see Ryan Roberts in this situation hit a ground ball to the right side to move Willie Bloomquist to third. But Ryan Roberts, really not a guy that, he's a guy that swings hard and pulls the ball. That's what he likes to do. So it's an interesting at-bat here for Roberts.
He He swung hard and he pulled the ball.
Well, and I don't have a problem with that either, and I don't think Kirk Gibson will, because he got a 2-0 count right there. He got a fastball in the middle of the plate. I'm sure Gibby, instead of just forcing a ground ball to the right side, he'll take a double down the line.
You bet.
So he got himself in a good hitter's count, got a pitch that he wanted. You know, he let it fly. Now he might go back to trying to move the ball to the right side.
Upton waits on deck. With Markham on the first base side of the rubber, well over there. That one dives low. That's a fastball. Everything he throws moves just a bit. 3-1 the count. The last time Markham pitched in this ballpark, he just soon forget about. His team eventually won the series, but it was October 4th. It was Game 3. You folks remember that Paul Goldschmidt grand slam? He gave up 7 runs in 4 2/3 innings. Diamondbacks won both the games here.
And got beat by Josh Coleman.
Didn't mean to. Had him out front.
Yeah, that's not the 3-1 swing you want to see from Ryan Roberts, a guy that hit a bunch of balls in the seats last year. That's not really a very good 3-1 swing right there, and you can see the disappointment in his face. Ryan Roberts kind of lets you know how he's feeling, doesn't he?
He's not a guy that puts on a face for people. But most of the time, that's a very good thing, because a lot of times he's supporting his teammates with that same passion.
He plays with passion, plays with a lot of guts.
Pulls that one on the ground, foul. Roberts last year in this situation hit .285 with runners in scoring position. Respectable number.
And I think last year, especially early in the season, during the first couple of months, there wasn't anybody on the team that Diamondback players wanted in this situation more than Ryan Roberts. Got a lot of huge hits, especially early in the season in April and May.
The one thing he did do a lot last year was walk. Now, his on base was very respectable because of that. 341 on base. To the right side, a slider that was belt high and good hitting, but he fouls it off.
He took a shot at right field there. He's having himself a good at-bat. He's really making Markham work.
Was Ryan all right for you defensively last year?
I thought he was more than adequate, didn't you?
I would agree. The numbers tell you he was certainly above average amongst all his peers at that hot corner. Lucroy and Markham will get back together again. The backstop for the Milwaukee Brewers has some long-term security. Within the last week or so, a long-term contract. It's been a while since there's been a steady catcher for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Not since the days of Bill Schroeder.
You're mentioning Bill Schroeder now.
Oh, yeah.
Hot shot, foul ball.
Our good friend and fine color analyst for the Milwaukee Brewers, Bill Schroeder. Did a lot of good things in a Milwaukee uniform on some great teams, didn't he, Darren?
Yeah, he served in a couple of different roles. If he wasn't starting, he was backing up Ted Simmons, which is not a bad assignment. And has become a part of the fabric of Milwaukee baseball there.
And they love Bill Schroeder in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as well they should. He's a good man.
Fun to spend time with Bill, because if you go to a pub, you never pay. Bouncing ball, ranging. The new shortstop for the Milwaukee Brewers. They've got a steady Eddie over there, the veteran Alex Gonzalez. So he doesn't move the runner up there. Gibson, Allen, Trammell, with Eric Young and Matt Williams, with Charles Nagy and Glenn Sherlock, his staff, all back together. And you couldn't get up early enough to catch these guys. It was morning conversations, morning coffees, workouts. Guys take pretty darn good care of themselves, too. Heck, they even mountain biked some together. Here is Justin Upton. Cut fastball just off the plate. And, of course, Don Baylor, I don't think he mountain biked.
I don't think so. I think Groove's starting to get a little longer in the tooth now, and mountain biking might not be his cup of tea. He'll just take that big old telephone pole of his, that arm, and just squash you with it.
Another breaking ball that hung. He can't get it down, but Upton took a whack at it. That sun has been tough and a nice play. Fighting the sun, so Justin Upton is erased. Justin this spring at 271 without a long ball and 5 batted in. Let's take a look defensively as the MVP candidate trots back to the dugout. It is the MVP in left, and Ryan Braun. Nyjer Morgan was replaced by Gomez with the pitching change. It's Corey Hart, then Aramis Ramirez, Alex Gonzalez, Ricky Weeks, Matt Gamble. We get to know him at first. Jonathan Lucroy catches Sean Markham. Now the offense on the first base side that was lost, they think a bit that maybe they can replace a little bit on the third base side. And everything that man gives you is a bit of a bonus.
And Matt Gamble, is it his job to lose?
Yes, absolutely.
He can hit.
He's hit at every level.
Everywhere in the minor leagues.
Miguel Montero takes a breaking ball for a strike.
A lot of people thought they might try to get Casey McGee to go over to first base, but Casey McGee was shipped to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So now it is Matt Gamble.
Fouls that one off his foot, does Miguel Montero. We were speaking coming on the air about the Diamondbacks catcher hitting .318 this spring. Took a bunch of walks as well, so he walked 8 times. His on base was .434 in spring training. Nobody in the major leagues caught more innings than this man. Not in spring training, in the regular season last year. Markham and Lucroy very deliberate to start the game.
Yes.
I'm sure at some point.
And they're flying out after the game. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Renicky will remind them that the
Plane's
engines have started.
Yeah, plane's waiting. Go ahead, just throw the baseball.
The 0-2. He threw right down the middle. How about an 0-2 fastball, bell tied down the middle? He got the message that the plane was waiting. Go ahead, Miggy, take a whack at it. Nah, I'll pass. PS Store, proud partners of our telecast. They present a weigh-in Wednesday.
What?
Where do you think the Diamondbacks will finish in the National League West and why? Join us on Facebook, Twitter, or FoxSportsArizona.com. Weigh-in Wednesday.
I mean, a spring training weigh-in. I mean, we're just reaching new heights.
0-1 the count to Corey Hart. They're just glad his health is where it can be, and it weighs in, and he's able to play last night and play tonight, or this afternoon. A very important part of this team. He's an interesting player. He kind of has evolved from the younger Corey Hart, who was tall but could steal bases and cover a lot of ground. Injuries have cut back on that a bit. He'll still punish a mistake, though.
He's got power to all fields. Yeah, don't let the long and lanky fool you. This guy's got some big-time strength.
2-2 the count.
If he gets to starting to chase pitches up there, though, he's in for a long season. He loves the ball down around the knees. He's one of those guys, if you make a mistake with an off-speed pitch, that's where he really does damage. Good pitch. Didn't get the call.
Rare to see Joe do that. Not a bad look there. He'll straighten a hitter up with a fastball that tries to grab the corner. He usually turns almost every fastball over. That was a good look. And he got the lower part of the strike zone just below the knees. Doubled up, 2 fastballs inside. Love to see that.
Right at the bottom of the kneecaps. I think Corey Hart said, man, my kneecaps are a little bit taller than most. I'm 6'6". He was on his way to first. Plane's still waiting.
That's exactly right. Everyone, umpires. The only people that don't have to hurry out of here are the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pitch is called high, and I think Saunders is learning very quickly that it's a low strike zone.
Joe Saunders like, excuse me, kind sir, where was that one?
Gonzalez on the ground, the veteran of more than 1,500 Major League games and a one-time world champion in South Florida with a single. This is a nice addition to this Brewers club.
No, he's one of the best defensive shortstops of this era. And like you said, anything he does with the bat, and yeah, it's not like he's a bad hitter. He's certainly good enough to get you some big hits when you need them. But yeah, I think he's a very good addition.
Well, his glove is where he will win in his range, and quite honestly, inspiring Aramis Ramirez on that side of the infield.
I think also Yuniesky Betancourt just fell out of favor in Milwaukee.
He's not a winning baseball player, quite honestly. He just didn't play like it.
He never really has been.
0-1 the count, but this man is. One and one the count. So Matt Gamble, we will, speaking of where he has done it and done it successfully, the young Brewer slugger and the first baseman last year in AAA, homered 28 times, hit .310. With a slugging percentage of .540. Was only 3 of 26 in the major leagues. When Saunders is right, a ground ball machine against lefties and righties. He does a nice job keeping runners close. The last time Joe pitched in this ballpark, he too pitched against the same foe. Speaking of Markham earlier, game 4. He went 3 innings. He gave up 3 runs. It was a no decision. His club won it 10-6, up and in. Micah Owings came in and cleaned up Joe's mess in that game. And a whole bunch of offense.
Yeah, grand slams are usually, when your team hits a grand slam, you usually win the ball game. That was Goldschmidt.
Funny you would mention that, by the way. There was a start Sean Markham made in Milwaukee on July the 4th last year.
Okay.
And Sean Markham hit a grand slam
and
didn't win the ball game. Do you remember that?
That happened to be against the Arizona Diamondbacks, didn't it?
Yes, it did. He hit a grand slam against Daniel Hudson.
And didn't win the ball game.
No.
There was some late heroics by the Diamondbacks. Come from behind. Ended up winning it in extra innings. One of the few saves that the fine Brewer closer, Axford, one of the few he blew.
And Milwaukee had a 6-1 lead, including that grand slam. Here, though, 2-2. Hard ground ball, foul ball as Goldschmidt takes a look at it. Well, Paul took a step toward that baseball. Gives me a chance to ask you your thoughts, what you saw defensively last year and this spring.
I think Paul came to the big leagues with a label of not a very good defensive first baseman. I personally didn't see that, Darren. I thought he showed some athleticism over there, showed pretty good feet. And if you show good feet, yeah, that's how you play defense. Whoa, you play defense with your feet.
How do you mean?
Not your hands. You have to be light on your feet. You know, kind of like you on the dance floor, just light on your feet. You know, just trip the light, fantastic. That's kind of the way you have to be at first base. You just have to be light on your feet and have good balance, and it looks like Goldschmidt does. Now it's just a matter of getting comfortable with your glove, and he'll certainly do that.
Hanging breaking ball, so he'll do it again.
What about you? What'd you think?
I would agree with everything. He brought a label with him. He immediately shook that. I think the one thing that every infielder loves is a first baseman who can bail them out. Probably still growing in the toughest of all areas at first, and that's cleaning up poor throws. Aaron Hill certainly would love it. That's the one thing that Adam LaRoche, the former first baseman, did so well.
He was amazing.
It's a good at bat from the young slugger Gamble. But you see that defense out there. You saw Aaron Hill at second base. Willie Bloomquist will play short a majority of the time. And Ryan Roberts at third. And positioning a big part of it. You saw how far swung over Matt Williams has the guys. Bolton to right field. Upton is there on a line drive. He's got a shot. On the bag. Right on his toes. Able to keep that tippy toe on the bag. Upton got there. Gonzalez slipped. Otherwise, it's just good old-fashioned bad base running.
In the Diamondbacks' final spring tune-up, and Kirk Gibson's been peppered by reporters all season long about his opening day lineup. What is it going to look like? Our Geico quote about players and whether they're bothered by where he slots them, he said they might want to hit somewhere, but they don't care. They want to win, and if it's not that way, then something's wrong. We've got a problem. So, you know, guys, I've been there in many of the news conferences and asking Kirk Gibson about the lineup, and he's given a few hints here and there, for example, saying that he really doesn't want to put a lot of pressure on Paul Goldschmidt, so you can see that he might be toward the bottom of the lineup. He wants to give him some confidence right out of the gate at the start of the season, but ultimately he said, I'm not set on anything. It might take a jog up and down Camelback Mountain every morning. He's going to get up at 5:30 a.m. He's going to be the first one to the ballpark, so you just never know exactly what Kirk Gibson's thinking when it comes to the lineup.
Great stuff, Jody, and he's always fun to cover, Kirk Gibson, isn't he?
He really is very, very straightforward with us, and we really appreciate that. And he's straightforward with his ball players, too. You'll hit where I tell you to hit, and if you don't like it, well, trust me, I'll find somebody that doesn't mind hitting there.
Speaking of hitting, how about the job that Chris Young has done this spring? The one thing they talk about with Chris Young is the work he has done with Don Baylor, flattening out the swing a little bit and using the whole field. Those are the two big keys that Baylor mentions. Swing and a miss. Hit a good breaking ball down and away. Flattening out the swing, what does that mean?
Well, I just think his swing plane was very from very high to low. It went from almost like a chopping wood type of swing. Did he go there? It looks like he may have, and he did. And now I think that they just want that flattening out the swing. It gets it a little more level, and it stays in the hitting zone longer. Your bat, the barrel of your bat is going to stay in the hitting zone longer than it has in the past because he's going to change that plane. And that's hard to do. It's hard to do something that you've been doing your whole life and all of a sudden change it and have it be for the better. So let's hope it works for Chris Young and Don Baylor.
Well, the spring numbers say so. Jason Kubel signed as a free agent. A couple of years on his contract this winter, so a couple of years the slugger who was born in South Dakota will get a chance to hit in this ballpark and in the National League. Longtime member of the Minnesota Twins organization. DH'd a lot, but also played left and right field with the Twins. Last year hit .273, managed 99 games, battling injuries. That's a base hit right field. And even though he's been around a long time, and even though this is only an exhibition game, a swing like that in this ballpark, his home ballpark now has got to feel good.
Yeah, and Jason Kubel, a lot of people might not know about him. He's been in the Minnesota organization for a long time, but one thing he's always done is hit the baseball. He can hit, and he can hit the ball in the seats as well. And, you know, we've talked earlier, you know, Jason Kubel, he was brought over here at a price tag of $7.5 million, so he's going to get plenty of looks.
This man earned his looks last year up through the minor league ranks. Goldschmidt takes a cut fastball that misses away. The guys in the visiting dugout were well aware of Paul Goldschmidt in the postseason. 7 of 16 with a couple of home runs and on base of .526 in last year's division series. One and one.
He was badly fooled by a good Markham slider. Not on this one, though, Dan.
What a great sound.
And what a great reaction by Markham as well.
A little bit of Ted Lillian in there.
Not quite as violent as Ted Lilly, but you could just tell, oh my goodness, I just gave up a grand slam. Ted Lilly was, well, keep your kids away from Ted that day.
Yeah, that was a glove slam from Lilly. That was a glove flip from Markham. Breaking ball dives low. This is what you're talking about. You like this as a hitter?
No, you make a pitcher do that, you know you did some serious damage. Hey, he's a human being. He reacted. I think it's great.
Well, he's a battler, too.
Absolutely.
Pitches, he's at 25. They will take him no further than 75 today, trying to get that shoulder strong. 3-1 the count on Goldschmidt. Dipped underneath the cut fastball. Ricky Weeks, shallow center field, calls off Gomez. Nice play by Ricky Weeks. They were playing, they had to be playing incredibly deep there. As Goldschmidt pops up to the second baseman.
Second baseman, number 2, Aaron Hill.
Aaron Hill is at .226 this spring, with a homer and 4 runs batted in. Stubborn Markham. Very stubborn, isn't he? He's going to cut it and sink it and change it up. 13-game winner last year, 30 years old. Two 2-0 the count.
And now with 2 outs and a runner on first base, you need something to be hitting the gap to take a 1-0 lead. So I would imagine Aaron Hill, he's going to look for one pitch in one spot, something that he can most likely get those arms extended and pull either into the gap or over the boards. Let's see if Markham gives him a fastball in the middle of the plate here. He threw the fastball, but he missed with it, and it's 3-0.
He has thrown him 3 pitches that he hoped he would swing at. Now he's got the pitcher on deck with that in mind. Let's see what he does. He swings with that one on 3-0. And don't forget, every time a Diamondback player knocks one out of here, Fulton Holmes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Good to have Fulton Holmes back with us for another season. They're really playing Hill to pull in the infield when he proved he could use the right side very efficiently last year. He pulls that one, though, out to Aramis Ramirez. Gamble cleans it up on the other end. A 5-3 ground out. A runner stranded. We roll on. Scoreless at Chase. Coach for the Diamondbacks down inside of that dugout. Number one, we have to get him in the Hall of Fame very soon. It's deserving. And most importantly, Tram, for you, thanks for joining us. And how has this spring gone in the last few weeks when you feel the guy's probably getting a little itchy to get going?
Well, you're exactly right. And as we were just discussing with you and Gracie, is that, we're not the only team. Every team, they're ready for that bell to ring and to get going. Spring training is a little long, especially for the position players. But we've implemented a lot of things again like we did last year, and we expect to play a lot of close ball games this year, and that's where we feel it'll pay off in the long run.
You feel like you've been successful this spring as far as the players starting to, you've got some new players, and has most everybody bought into what you guys are trying to do?
Oh, they've definitely bought in, no doubt about that. And we like those one-pitch, one-outs there, guys.
Yeah, see, you've taught Joe Saunders very well, haven't you?
Well, that's what he needs to do. He's a ground ball pitcher. But, again, the guys have been very receptive. I mean, again, Gibby does a great job of telling people what he expects, but he does it in a great fashion. I'm proud of him. I mean, he's my friend, an ex-teammate. And he's done an outstanding job. But these guys are ready to compete. We know that, we're not going to be under the radar this year, that, we'll be targeted this year, and that's okay. I think we can handle it.
The position of shortstop comes up a lot, and I would imagine quietly and privately, you guys realistically knew that the day would come on Friday, and you probably wouldn't have Stephen Drew. As far as the preparation has gone for Willie, is he a guy for you that can do it every single day?
Well, I think that having Johnny McDonald is key because Willie's a high-energy guy, and the fact of the matter is he wears down a little bit. And so to have when Gibby can sense that, we as a coaching staff can help Gibby and say, you know what, I think Willie could use a blow. And that's important. There's another out, a quick out. We like those again. But getting back to the Willie Bloomquist and Johnny McDonald, Willie's going to play more, no question about it. We need his offense, and we need him to do his things to create some havoc. But we know that Johnny McDonald is a nice fill-in guy, can play excellent defense, and does swing the bat occasionally. And he's certainly not just an out.
Well, also, I'm sure you're ready for spring training to end. Are you tired of getting to the ballpark at 5:30 a.m.?
Yeah, even today we got there a little later, but we've set that precedent there that we get there early, but it's good. I mean, we're an active staff. We enjoy doing that. Get there, get our work in, so we can prepare for what we need to do that particular day. But again, we've mentioned it a few times. I'll mention it again. It's a great staff to be around. Again, I don't know some of these guys as long as I have, like a Gibby or others, but Matty Williams, just to say, is an outstanding guy. Glenn Sherlock, you've been around these guys for a long time. Quality people.
I saw a moment ago Jason Kubel communicate with Chris Young in center, and Young moving him one way or another. That's going to be important for Jason defensively to listen to Chris, isn't it?
That is. Geraldo Parra, we know, is a Gold Glover, and Jason Kubel is not Parra. But again, by paying attention and listening to Chris, we feel we're in good shape. But we're very fortunate to have both, and we think Jason Kubel can bring some offense, a little added dimension to our offense there. But Parra's going to get a chance to play a lot.
Way to pitch down there, Tram.
Nice going, Tram. Keep it up, pal.
Quick
Best
innings.
of luck to you. Okay.
Okay, Gracie, Darren, thank you.
Bench coach Alan Trammell. We rolled on from Chase. To visit. Hey, don't forget also, when you're in Sedona or anywhere else, visit local retailers and text road trip to the Miller Taste Team at 620-620 for your chance to win one of 3 interdivision rival flyaway trips this summer. It's Miller time. Triple top stop, and that is a great chance to take a road trip with the team. With the bat in his hands, we call him Bazooka Joe, as he takes a strike right down the middle.
That was quite funny. Very comical last year, his gum issues.
At Dodger Stadium in the batter's box, he had some gum that someone decided not to throw in the garbage, you kids out there. Got stuck in his shoes and stuck on his bat, and for all time now he will be known as Bazooka Joe. As a matter of fact, his baseball reference page, nickname Bazooka Joe. 1-2 the count. He can hit a little bit. What do you think for your money, Grayson?
really came on towards the end of last year, started getting quite a few hits. He was kind of low on the totem pole there for a while with, of course, Daniel Hudson leading the charge as far as the starting pitchers.
The pitch is outside. There's the best hitting pitcher in the National League, statistically anyway, last year is that man, Daniel Hudson. And he's a silver slugger.
Just missed.
What a great eye by Saunders there.
That time Markham wanted it. Ian Kennedy and Daniel Hudson, they spend a lot of time next to each other.
Bazooka Joe.
Joe loves that too. I'll bet you he'll give some kind of a stare into the dugout to see, hey, Daniel Hudson, did you see that? Yeah. It's a close-knit bunch, these starting pitchers. That's pretty right there. Letting the ball travel and just swatting it the other way. I mean, that's very impressive. They love it.
Well, I tell you, the shades of Cecil Cooper and Rod Carew there with that.
Well, let's not get carried away. It was nice.
Here's Willie Bloomquist. Pretty curveball. It's called inside. Markham not enjoying the strike zone this inning. That's the best way I know to put it now.
Yeah, he wanted that call. All pitchers want it. You guys want everything.
You talk about Joe out there at first. His last 11 starts, he hit 261. He was fine. Drove in 3 runs. Caught on that fastball, dips the outside corner. 1-1 the count to Willie Bloomquist. Willie doubled into right center field back in the first inning. His 12th hit of the spring. It's tough to be a guy that plays as a utility man or a bench player in the American League, but that's what he was relegated to doing most of his career. Out front, but it's belted into left center field. Ryan Braun goes back, looks up. It's out of here. That is a Fulton Holmes homer. Another $150 to the Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Willie hasn't hit one this spring until now.
Well, this looks like a slider that just doesn't do anything, stays right in the middle of the zone. Bloomquist gets extended, catches it right on the barrel. And you can just tell Ryan Braun kind of gave up on that one right out of the gate. And that's how you know that Willie Bloomquist hit it really well, because that was just kind of a token trip back to the walls. That one's ripped. Nice play there by Ricky Weeks to rob Ryan Roberts of a base hit. But Willie Bloomquist, not known as a guy that hits many home runs, but he put a pretty good charge into that one, probably a good 410 feet away.
Yeah, you mentioned a big part of the ballpark out there when you get it over the Geico sign. Willie hit 4 all of last year and 350 at bats. So Willie only has 17 in his major league career. Justin swing and a miss. I'm told there was a bit of a silent treatment as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks. Usually it's guys that don't hit very many home runs that get the silent treatment. Justin rarely gets the silent treatment. He has plenty of home runs.
"12 walks this spring for Upton. An on base of 405 as he takes a pitch down and away. Markham hopped up in a unique way there. Angry with himself. I think looking at body language, he's telling himself he's flying open a little bit. In, good dive, in on the hands, long run. And for Justin Upton, it's a Texas leaguer. Kia Motors, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and of course this telecast, our key to the game. No thorns. Now, this one is Gracie's. Gracie, please explain.
Well, it's not mine, but I will tell you that I would imagine no thorns means, it's a beautiful day here. It's a rosy day, but you don't want any thorns, and that means thorns like it's your last day of spring training. You don't want anybody to get an injury, something to that effect. I would say no thorns just kind of means stay healthy, enjoy this wonderful, beautiful, flowery, floral day, but avoid the thorns. You like that? Because it wasn't mine.
That's the last Cactus League game. You certainly don't want to get poked by a cactus, but are those called thorns?
Needles.
That's what I thought. Yep. It's spring training for the truck as well.
Yeah, it's very consistent.
Maybe one of the worst keys we've ever had. Montero into the seats it goes. We love Kia Motors and their partnership.
Yes, we do.
We want to make that clear. And we promised the folks at Kia Motors that we'll do better next time.
We owe them an early apology.
1-1 the count, Miguel Montero. Miguel Montero down. Upton will easily go to third, and if it's kicked, he'll think about more. Pitch down and in, he went and got it.
Markham's starting to get some pitches up in the zone, starting to get pitches in the middle of the plate. Miguel Montero just smokes this ball into right center field. Look at the head stay right down and swinging all the way through it and just drilling it into right center. That's just textbook hitting right there. And Justin Upton, a guy that's so big, that's just a beautiful stride he's got. Easily getting on to third base. He's got some pretty white shoes on today.
Yeah, different look for Justin. Chris Young finishing very strong against right-handed pitching last year, and this spring he's doing the same. That one is fouled off. I want to get back to Miguel Montero, if I may, because last year what he did so well, was to play every day, to drive in runs, and throw the baseball much better. I mean, he became top 5, top 4 catchers in the game.
I think so. All around, I think, with Joe Mauer missing so much time in Minnesota last year. I mean, you think Yadier Molina. See, that's a bad play right there by Matt Gamble, the first baseman. That's a play he could have easily just gone home and gotten the out. No one scores. But instead he doesn't realize that Chris Young is a center fielder and can fly. I mean, he's got an easy play at home. But now he decides he's going to try to turn the double play, and now you'll see Justin Upton easily scoring. That's a third baseman trying to play first base right there, and that's just growing pains. And I'm sure right now Brewer coaches are probably going to have a little conversation with him, just say, hey, even if you have no play, just take a look at that runner on third base, get him to go back, and then just make the tag on the runner coming to you. But the last thing you're going to do on Chris Young there is turn a double play ball on a high hopper.
And he was able to run up the line. Upton able to run down the line and score easily. Young able to go about 70% and easily reach. Big years for Kubel a couple of years back. Had a 28 home run season in 2009. Hit 300 that year. That same year had an on base of 369, so that was probably his high water mark. But just honestly, looking back at the numbers, hit great indoors inside of the dome, and then when they open up the new beautiful ballpark at Target Field, his numbers suffered a little bit. And some injuries. Good 1-0 changeup.
Change up there, wasn't it?
In the last 3 seasons. Again, last year, injuries were his enemy. Only managed 99 games. You had a chance to visit that park a lot on assignment.
It's a big ballpark. Plays very big. It is definitely
a San Diego.
I don't know if it plays quite that big, but it plays bigger than just about any place I know in the American League. The West has got some big ballparks in the National League, and that would be San Francisco, San Diego. Dodger Stadium at night plays very big. Colorado now with the Humidor has gotten back to more than fair, if you will.
At this driving range, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, a lot of guys, a lot of pitchers had great years in this ballpark. Randy Johnson, Curt Schilling, Brandon Webb, Ian Kennedy, Daniel Hudson. Don't tell those guys it's a hitter's ballpark. There's Cy Young awards.
I think
20 game and more winners.
I think great pitchers are great on your corner Little League park. I think great pitchers make their pitches anywhere. I think this ballpark can make an average pitcher not making his pitches pretty bad pretty quick, though. Great pitchers make their pitches. All those guys you mentioned have.
Here's the 1-1 to Kubel.
If you're new to the show, and I include our fine new producer, Bill Cochran, there is an ongoing debate about this being a hitter's ballpark. Gracie just won't have it. All the numbers and the facts and the research point that way, but he won't have it. Always references the great pitchers that honestly could have pitched well, again, in a parking lot. The 1-2 to Kubel. Into the dirt. Nice play, Lucroy. So wait a minute. You didn't like
really
hitting
well
in this
done.
park?
I'm not saying I didn't like hitting in this park.
Better than other parks?
I think it plays very deep in center field and probably over to the pool area and just between the 376s. I think it plays very big. I think you can once in a while you can get a cheap one right over one of the corner outfielders' heads. It's plenty deep down the lines, 335 and 333, and then it gets deep quickly. So, yep, it's a pitcher's ballpark.
Bouncing ball. Out in front of it is Kubel to the bag in time for the out. I'll tell you this, it's a ballpark in which Willie Bloomquist jumped on a baseball and knocked it out of here. Of course, Randy Johnson didn't give it up. Saturday when the Diamondbacks take on the Giants, the first 10,000 fans get a Gibby fan. It's courtesy of CenturyLink. And 20,000 fans get a Pepsi schedule magnet. Call 602-514-8400 or log on now to dbacks.com/tickets. That fan could be a mask as well. As the first pitch is low and away to Gomez. You can hold it up in front of your face and you're Kirk Gibson. Had a chance to preview one of those yesterday. I actually asked Kirk Gibson about it.
Does he like it?
I think so. Hard to tell with Kirk Gibson on things like that. Pitches inside, 2-0 the count. You know, it's interesting for a guy who always defers to his players, gives credit to his players. He probably walked very slowly into the world of marketing. But it's good that he was there because the Gibby watching campaign was pretty well done.
I think it's funny.
You know, with Kirk Gibson in your classroom, Kirk Gibson on your first date.
With a scowl on his face. Watching you make your dinner. Gibby's watching. I love that. And one thing about folks at home, the Diamondbacks clubhouse and Chase Field, Gibby's watching. It's tough to get anything by Kirk Gibson. He knows everything that's going on in this organization. Oh,
good pitch.
What a pitch. Joe Saunders really throwing the ball well here this afternoon. Using that tailing fastball away and then to set this up, bang, right to the inside corner. It just locks up Gomez, and he'll walk back to the dugout. Good to see Joe Saunders throwing the ball well.
Another mixed reaction for Ryan Braun. He flied to center field back in the first inning. He gives that one a ride. It's crushed out toward that balcony. Ryan Braun off the wall. He eases into second. Braun with a couple of bases and a double.
Looked like a first pitch changeup that he picks on. Let's see. Yep, it was a changeup, and it just didn't do anything. And that very deep center field here at Chase Field is the only thing that kept that in the ballpark.
Got that big bat through the zone very quickly. Uses one of the biggest baseball bats in the game. A 35-inch bat, about 35-ounce bat. Very heavy, very big. Line drive center field. Young overruns it. Braun says, "Oh, come on down." I would imagine that'll be a single and an error because they had stopped Braun at third. So Aramis Ramirez into center field. Young hurrying to that ball, a natural instinct, but he had been stopped, the runner that is, and Braun at third.
I would imagine you're right. First pitch ripped out there, and Young got in a little bit too big a hurry. And you can see he's being held up, but now, after the ball's kicked out there in center field, he scores easily, and that will be an error on Chris Young. And that'll be the first run of the day for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Up and into Corey Hart, 1-0 the count. Hart struck out looking back in the second inning on a fastball just below the knees. A homegrown Brewer. Belted right center field. Going back. Justin Upton to the wall. It's swimming out there in the pool area. You talked about the big stick that he wields, and Corey Hart, he just showed it that way, the big part of the ballpark. Just a couple of games back this spring. That's going to be a positive for Brewers fans.
Fastball out over, knee high. That's where he loves it. That's his nitro zone, and he crushes this ball a long ways over the swimming pool. Off the rocks out there, and after a really nice, impressive strikeout to start this inning. Back to back to back hard hit balls here off of Joe Saunders to tie up the ball game.
He went swimming out there in the RamTrucks.tv pool. 1-1 the count.
It's a different year.
Different year, and still the same pool, though. I know you're going to be heading out real soon. 2-1 the count. Here in a couple of weeks, we'll be televising a game from out there.
Always looking forward to that game. April 17th will be that day that we'll be out there.
Yep. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. 2-2 the count. They always have lifeguards and sunscreen. Lots of snacks. You get yourself a Diamondbacks towel as part of your visit. Always a fun destination if you can get a group together. Into the dirt it goes. Am I to understand that the beautiful new ballpark that the Marlins have, that it has a pool as well? Am I to understand that correctly?
I believe it has, yes.
Okay.
And a few surprises, I think, be coming your way as well, Darren. Let's put it this way. I'm really looking forward to getting to South Florida and seeing that new ballpark.
Well, then I don't know if I want to see those surprises, as that's ball 4 into the dirt. And here's Matt Gamble. Three to 3 the score. But we'll be there. We're excited to get down there. It's just at the end of the month. An East Coast swing right away for Arizona. Gamble up the mile high to right. Justin Upton turns that body sideways, fighting the sun, and puts it away. So Gamble 0 for 2, a line out to right and a fly ball out to right.
And when you're starting to scuffle a little bit out there, like Joe Saunders has been scuffling, 4 batters reach base in a row. Well, it's nice to just get that first pitch fastball, get somebody to pop it up, and get you back feeling good about things.
Top step, if you joined us earlier with this pitching coach looking on, Charles Nagy. Runner on the move, good jump. Throw from his knees, Montero, wow!
Mercy.
He had that bag stolen. Montero from his knees threw him out.
Very impressive.
Along with Jody Jackson, a reminder, anytime the Diamondbacks score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with a large drink purchase, 4 to 6 in the evening the following day, and that's a very good thing. One more look, Gracie, at Miguel Montero throwing from his knees here.
This is impressive. I mean, and got a lot on the throw. Right on the button. Gonzalez had a great jump. You see the tag easily there by Aaron Hill. That got his pitcher out of a nice little jam. Even though we got a tie game, Miguel Montero saved his pitcher's bacon right there.
Miguel Montero, hitting into late June last year, had 10 errors. As a catcher, had 10 errors. He at that point had as many errors as the struggling shortstops around baseball who fielded ground balls all the time. From a trip into Kansas City in late June until the end of the year, he only had 1 more. He only had 1 more the rest of the year.
He worked tireless hours with Glenn Sherlock, the bullpen coach. You could see road trips, even when we would get here early for games, Miguel Montero would be out there working with his throwing with Glenn Sherlock, working on his footwork. And boy, did it pay dividends defensively from Miguel.
1-1 the count, Paul Goldschmidt.
Miguel Montero, boy, he is a cagey old veteran now. He is a free agent at the end of this year.
Time flies, doesn't it?
6 years now, full years in the big leagues.
There was a time where he had to fight for playing time, as that one is to the right side. Pretty well struck by Goldschmidt. Going back, making a nice play with the number 1 on his back is Corey Hart.
Corey Hart's turned into a very good outfielder.
You're right. Through the injuries, too, his speed has slowed a bit, but his wisdom in playing the position has gotten better and better. Our AT&T trivia question.
All right, let's hope for a much better year with the trivia questions this year.
Let's see what we have. Brought to you by our good friends with AT&T. Who led the Diamondbacks in average and runs batted in the postseason a season ago? 5 games, so who had the most RBIs and the highest batting average in the postseason a season ago?
I've got a pretty good guess.
Okay. I'm told, by the way, we're not able to respond if you're right or wrong. The buzzer and the bell do not work.
Really? Oh, that makes it no fun then.
Popped up. Luke Croy comes together with Gamble. Guys get together, both take a tumble, but they communicated at the last minute.
Very nice play by Gamble. That's the thing. You hate to have a collision, get somebody some kind of dinged up 2 days before opening day, but everybody's okay. Gamble gets him a face full of cushion there. And Lucroy, he's got gear on. He doesn't care. He's going to be just fine. Nice play.
Yeah, one of the better hitters in the ball game today is Joe Saunders, as he looks at a pitch down and away. You high def viewers at home, watch this.
Coming right in your living room. It's good stuff.
Now, so is the eye of Saunders. 2-0 the count.
I have a feeling we're going to have a long year with this pitchers hitting type of stuff this year.
Kirk Gibson hopes so.
Well, I'll tell you what. All you're doing is helping yourself if you become a tough out at the plate. That in. No. Pitching ease. Just a little tapper to first, and that'll end the inning.
Barely beat him to the bag there. Swing of the bat. There you go.
Yeah.
7 of 16, 438, and 6 runs batted in.
Well, we promised the answer to the trivia is going to get better, folks. We got a lot of ball game left.
Yeah, he had a handful of RBIs. He homered in the postseason. 6 runs batted in, just didn't lead in the batting average category.
Roberts, partner likes to call him Tat Man, but he's Ryan Roberts, and he had a tremendous year last year.
So here's Matt Lucroy. Oh, and 1 the count to Matt. 3-3 the score. 5 hits for the visiting Brewers. Without a miscue, the Diamondbacks with 6 hits and 1 error. Off the end of the bat, good sinking fastball dives down and away. Don't really like to call him Tatman at all out there at third.
I thought you had your Tatman T-shirt last year. I remember.
Well, the fans like to call him that. I follow the fans. We'll let the fans call him that.
Okay.
I like to call him Ryan. They're even giving away here at the ballpark some Tatman sleeves where you put a sleeve on.
In the team shop?
Oh, no, they're giving them away here at the ballpark for one of the contests
like
upcoming.
A sleeve of tattoos?
Yes.
Holy Moses. A lot going on there.
Into the seats it goes. Oh, no. No, vice principal. Those aren't real tattoos. It's just a sleeve. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, my 2 boys probably love to have a couple of sleeves. And that'll be all they get.
The 0-2. 1-2 the count. Grounded out to short back in the 3rd inning.
Good fastball. Gas right by Lucroy. That's the first out.
Take a look at the CenturyLink high-speed internet, high-speed pitch. Either one of these guys will knock the catcher to the backstop, but that's not their game.
You know what's funny is, it's certainly a new era since I've played, but back in the day, 91 was a good hard fastball. I mean, a good hard fastball in the days I played. And like you said, now you throw 91, you're a finesse guy.
Trevor Cahill will be coming on to pitch several innings to tune up for his start. He's warming in the pen. Well, no, you're exactly right. I'll give you some cases and points. Cahill, who warms out there, is a guy who, known as a sinker ball pitcher. His average fastball is 89. That's average, not his highest. Joe Saunders, another guy out there, his average fastball is almost 90, 89.6 miles an hour. You're saying you go back a few years, that's going hard.
Threw hard.
It's coming back our way.
That was a late break. I almost took that one in the chops.
Boy, how about that day to the ballpark? That is a dad and daughter outing.
He's got both his daughters. That's great.
Well, no, one's a doll, actually.
Oh, okay. They looked alike.
Probably by design. American Girl's very good at that. The 2-2.
Just missed that inside corner. Saunders wanted it.
You wouldn't know about having to, as we see this one again.
I got 2 boys. I didn't have to deal with dolls. He's having skied to right center field. Who's got it? Looks like Justin Upton. I'll take that one, Darren.
Well,
Justin puts it away.
The sun has been no fun today for the outfielders. They're really fighting it. Look at that smile. The shades have been helpful.
He's gotten a lot better. You've watched his entire major league career along with me, Darren. He's gotten a lot better in the outfield the last couple of years, hasn't he, Justin Upton?
He's so fast that there's no sense in not slowing the game down, if you follow me there.
He's always had that terrific right arm.
He's got a skipper who is a high energy, high effort type outfielder who made his mistakes as well.
Oh, Kirk Gibson will tell you he was a lousy defensive outfielder. He could hit. But he had great speed. Didn't have much of a throwing arm.
By the way, Charles Nagy is slated to join us. We'll ask him about the outfielders, how helpful they were to the pitchers last year. Just a heads up, Charles loves doing these interviews. To the backstop it goes.
Well, he really doesn't, folks. He's one of the more fun guys you'll ever be around. But once that red light of the camera comes on, he's not real comfortable.
So with that in mind, stay with us. We'll ask him about that first, how excited he is to be with us. Ricky Weeks looks at a pitch, a changeup on 2-1. Down and away. But he's not hired to be a host or a play-by-play guy or an analyst. He's been a heck of a pitching coach.
He's been a very good pitching coach. He's got a lot to be proud of.
3-1 popped up.
A real good location with that fastball there by Saunders. On 3-1, you know, Ricky Weeks is going to be looking for something that he can drive out of the ballpark, and he can drive the ball out of the ballpark at a high clip. But the location down and away at the knees, boy, that's just a terrific pitch on 3-1. Now, can you do something different here, 3-2? Let's see if he tries to go back inside. That's been a pretty good pitch for him today. He sure is. And he got it there. Good pitch.
Joe has pitched in this start, albeit just a spring training start, as much as you'd see him in 5 or 6 combined last year.
I think that's when he got better at the end of the year. He started using the inside corner to his advantage because everybody in the major leagues knows Joe Saunders likes to live. Wow, he got a low strike 3 there, Ricky Weeks. Since it's spring training, not going to argue too much. But if it was the regular season, he'd probably get kicked out of the game on a pitch this low.
Yeah, somebody get him his glove. He'll be just fine. We had a little fun with you. We told our fans how much you just love doing this, so thank you for doing it and starting off.
Hey, anytime.
We appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about your assessment of your starting pitcher today, Joe Saunders. You just spoke with him a moment ago. What did you guys talk about?
I just shook his hand. Didn't really have time to say much to him. But no, Joe threw the ball well today. Threw the ball. He moved his fastball in and out. Locked a lot of their righties up on some comebackers and had some good changeups. You know, he left the pitch up out over hard, hit it out for a home run. That's what he does. And, you know, but all in all, it was a great outing for Joe today.
I wanted to go back to the thing you mentioned, in. He seemed today to throw in as much as we've seen him in any start last year, helping the stuff away, but he really was commanding the inside part, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when you can command the inside part, especially these righties that like to pull off the ball, it really helps his sinker and his changeup out.
He's also being followed up by Trevor Cahill, and a lot of Diamondback fans probably still don't know a whole lot about Trevor Cahill. Charlie, can you give the fans at home a little something like you hope that they can see today?
Trevor's a really aggressive pitcher. He works fast. He's got a really good sinker, good curveball, good changeup. Just goes right after. There's a lot of ground balls. That's what we're hoping out of Trevor, just coming in, throwing strikes, get a lot of ground ball outs.
Spring training numbers can get crazy in the Cactus League. Is it for you most of the time? Is it just what you see with your eyes as a pitching coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's how the ball's coming out of their hand and how they feel and if they're getting their work in. And all our guys this spring have done a great job with that. They've all got their innings in. They've all worked hard, both when they've had to pitch and also in the weight room and in the training room, and they're ready to go.
Specifically, what did you see out of Josh Colementor last night? The numbers tell us he took a step in the right direction.
Josh just needs to locate his fastball down in the zone. Whenever he can do that, everything else works off that. That's what we talk about all the time. And when his fastball's up, creeping up in the zone, it's the velocity and everything, the deception just too close to his changeup, and that's when he gets hit.
Why did it creep up? What did you see?
Sometimes, that time in spring, spring training, sometimes your arm's just a little dead that day. Sometimes you just have a bad day and you just can't get the ball down. Little things can happen. I always equate everything to golf. Why sometimes you can go out and shoot a 75 and the next day you go out and shoot a 95.
Charles, did you, as
hey, how about Willie Bloomquist?
Willie
3 hits today.
That's 3 hits. And he needed to get that, didn't he? It had been a tough spring for him.
There's all that song, his first time up.
I like it. Now, you had a great career as a pitcher. Were there ever springs where you said, gosh, did you ever have bad springs or did you ever have just tremendous springs? Tell us about the way you carried yourself in spring training.
Just tried to work hard, and physically get ready for the season. Go out and log your innings. Take the ball every 5th day and just prepare and just get ready. If you're working on something, working on a pitch, working on a cutter, or you want to throw a breaking ball a little more on a certain day or another day, just to get that feel back. That's what spring training is all about.
But did you ever have a bad spring where you're like,
oh
my gosh,
oh my
gosh, I hope this doesn't carry over to Cleveland.
I had a few meetings with Grover where he said, oh my gosh, a lot. What are you doing out there? Come on, you got to throw up some zeros or whatever just to kind of get the front office off my back. But that's just spring training. That's just what happens sometimes. Gracie, the grounds are hard, the wind blows hard.
Yeah.
It's just it's kind of nice to get in here and get in the 3rd tier on the stadium and get in a little big league atmosphere and guys kind of turn it up a notch. And it was nice to see Joe do that today.
Well, in my 3 years of playing for the Diamondbacks, I saw Randy Johnson have some lousy springs. So it certainly happens. And I just think that a guy like Cole Mentor, especially after what he did for you guys last year, you're still plenty confident in him, aren't you?
Oh, tons of confidence in Josh. He's what he did last year. He came out of not nowhere, but went in the bullpen, did a great job, earned a spot in the rotation, then just took off from there. And his season just spoke for itself. And spring training is a small little capsule of work to really negate everything he did last year for us.
Why did you guys decide on Wade Miley last night and ended today with the roster construction?
Just concerned a little bit with length out of the bullpen. If something ever happened early in the game, we really don't have many guys down there that can pitch maybe 2 or 3 innings. Wade's a guy who this spring training has been pitching out of the bullpen 3, 4, 5 innings, and he's done a great job. And he's gone out and shown that, and Wade's kind of a little goofy enough where he kind of likes it down there. He fits in well.
Yeah, we just saw that. He's got a chair attached to his fanny. So that's not surprising.
The Wade Miley word of the day, we heard a little bit about that. Kirk Gibson explained it to us.
Yeah, we had a little fun with Wade. Wade's word of the day, he'd get in front of everybody, and we have the smartest man in baseball down there. I think we pick out some obscure words out of the dictionary, and they throw them on the board. And I'm in Wade's defense, 3/4 of the guys in those rooms didn't know those words either.
Yes, I guess they know how to use Google. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. They were Googling as fast as they could, just so they could get a chuckle out of it.
Runner goes on 1-2, swung on and missed, throw down, and in there with a stolen base. Well, as much as we know you'd like to stay with us the rest of the game, we'll let you go.
Thank you very much.
Charles, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
He says he doesn't like you, Gracie, but he's just fine, isn't he?
You know what? He gives a lot of good answers, and I like the fact that he's not afraid to poke fun at himself as well.
Yeah, when he said Grover, folks, that's Mike Hargrove, his old manager in Cleveland.
He said, "Oh my gosh."
I love the line, "Get the front office off my back." That's spoken like a veteran manager, isn't it?
Are you actually going to keep this guy?
Here's Justin Upton.
And he ended up being the ace of the staff just about his entire career.
Pretty good offense in support of Mr. Nagy there in the mid-'90s Cleveland's club.
Yeah.
And Williams for a time part of that.
You have Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, Albert Bell, a young Richie Sexton, a young Jeremy Burnett, Matt Williams, Vizquel, Alomar.
And before that, Carlos Baerga. Both Alomars. Yeah, that was a decent
Good
stat.
support. Slow bender outside, 1-1 the count.
Sean Markham throwing the ball pretty well today. A guy that hasn't had much work this spring due to shoulder stiffness. I think he's done himself pretty proudly today, don't you?
He's done just fine. You know, what you want is what you see. 75 pitches are what they were looking for. Here is pitch number 75.
Upton got caught looking for something off speed and took a fastball right down Broadway.
You get, when you say we're setting out to get to 75 pitches and you reach that in the 5th inning and the bullpen's quiet, no complaints when he comes back in, that makes you feel good when you get on the plane.
Ron Renicke's going to be very happy with that, the skipper of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Wolf pitched very well last night for Milwaukee. Gallardo and Greinke, they'll be just fine.
It's a good staff.
Runner on his way to third. Slow down. It gets away from Ramirez and a stolen base. But Aramis Ramirez really just kind of eased over to the bag there.
Well, Jonathan Lucroy really made a bad throw. I mean, he gets a bad jump. That is Willie Bloomquist. The ball, you see just how much it beat him, but that was a poor throw by Lucroy. I mean, a decent throw at all, and Willie Bloomquist is going to be out by 10 feet. So now all it takes is a little contact here to give the Diamondbacks the lead right back here in the 5th.
And this is a Kirk Gibson special. He has demanded his players improve in this situation.
And the infield is in. Ron Renicke going to try to make Justin Upton hit it somewhere out in the outfield to get this run, but you just need some contact here if you're Justin Upton. Good take right there. That was a tantalizing slider. He was able to lay off of it.
It's runner at third. It's less than 2 outs. Kirk Gibson challenging his players that's the area that we just have to grow in. I don't want to have close to 50 come from behind wins. I want to play from ahead more. Nice job.
Justin just pretty much knowing that Markham was not going to come after him there. He does a good job of laying off a couple of breaking balls in the dirt. And you know what? I think that also, if you're Miguel Montero, hey, go ahead and walk him. I'll do my thing. It looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Ron Renicke. I didn't see anybody warming up down there, Darren, but evidently he pointed at somebody.
And a man's coming through the gate. Manny Parra, the left-hander.
So the Parra brothers are here today, Gerardo and Manny.
No relation. We'll tell you about Manny when we come back. both teams with the Diamondbacks Pepsi Max Value Pack. You get a lower level bleacher ticket, a regular size hot dog, a 24-ounce Pepsi, and a free bottle of my favorite, Pepsi Max, all for just $19. The Diamondbacks Pepsi Max Value Pack. It's available for every home game this season. 602-514-8400 or log on to dbacks.com/value. Runner at third, runner at first now. Manny Parra, friend of this booth, certainly. The now older left-hander goes to work.
I've always liked this guy. Hard-throwing left-hander with a lot of movement. As you can see right there, that was a first pitch changeup, actually, for some reason. He's looking for a ground ball. Lefty on lefty. Montero does not run very well, but he's allowed to not run very well. He's a catcher.
Parra, a longtime starting pitcher and an experiment, will pitch out of the bullpen, which may be a better fit for his career. He just never locked in as a starter in the major leagues. Into the
Former
dirt.
#1 pick for the Brewers. I mean, had stardom written all over him, but for some reason it just hasn't equated to being an all-star caliber starter at the major league level. You talk to anybody in baseball, they all want Manny Parra, but Milwaukee's like, we're not gonna give you Manny Parra because we want him here, but we want him to be successful. It's just success has dodged him thus far.
And this is one of the reasons why. Consistency in the strike zone. And if you're going to pitch out of the bullpen, you'll have managers going crazy if you're not throwing strikes right away.
Well, you've come in, you've thrown a changeup, a slider, and a fastball, all out of the zone.
Ball four. Brought on to get the lefty, and he doesn't get the lefty.
Not only did he not get the lefty, I mean, he missed badly with all 4 pitches.
Parra in his major league career, 110 appearances, 74 starts, a 5.13 ERA, but 227 walks, a ton of strikeouts, but 227 walks in just over 400 innings. Here's Chris Young, who loves hitting lefties.
Good change up there to start ahead. As you can see, right-handers have been a struggle. But lefties, they don't like seeing number 24 get into the batter's box.
Hard ground ball, big hit into left field. Run is in. Matt throws up the stop sign. Justin says, I'm coming anyway. He actually ran around, and I mean foul territory around Matt Williams. 5-3 to score.
Well, Matt Williams did have the stop sign up for some reason. Nyjer Morgan's playing left field, and he doesn't have an arm at all. And this ball is just blistered into left field. And once it's past Justin Upton, who can fly. And let's see if we can catch Matt Williams putting up the stop sign. Nyjer Morgan doesn't throw the ball well at all. I'll just go right around you and really score easily, Matty. Oh, Matty.
Yeah, I think that was a don't get hurt stop sign. Because no one's more aggressive in that job than that man. He loves to send them and push the envelope. Rare is it when you see a player run through a stop sign and could read the back of the coach's jersey as he runs by, though.
And just coast home. I don't know why that stop sign was up, but we'll have to give Matty a good bit of the business when we see him.
An off day tomorrow. No television, then it's opening day. Quite honestly, I'll probably never speak of it again with him.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Just because I love him so much.
I'll probably forget about it driving home today.
He did a great job last year in his first year as the third base coach for the Diamondbacks.
On the ground, into center field. Kubel, Matt says, let's try it again. Come on. Come on, Miguel. That's an RBI for Kubel. I'll tell you this right now, Parra has come on and not helped himself at all. He has already made the team as a left-handed reliever, but has pitched poorly out of the pen.
Well, fastball, not hit all that hard by Kubel, but right in the perfect spot. Catches it off the end of the bat. Montero scores easily. Chris Young motoring all the way to third base. And as you said, Manny Parra just hasn't helped himself at all. And now he's facing a right-hander that, well, could just make him have a miserable day right here in Paul Goldschmidt.
First and third for Arizona. 3 runs in. 0-1 the count. Paul popped up to the second baseman in line to right.
You can see plenty of pop on that fastball from Manny Parra. Jonathan Lucroy kind of adamantly telling Manny Parra, settle down. Try to keep me in my crouch, please.
The Central Division champs of last season against the Western Division champs in a final tune-up contest. He doesn't look right at all today. He's thrown maybe 2 or 3 quality pitches since he's come out. And we know a little bit about him, folks. Kind. He has been fun to watch. Good kid.
I love the stuff he brings.
From the Sacramento area. Paul Goldschmidt spanks it into left field. Nigel Morgan will play it on the backhand. Kubel will hustle to third. The Diamondbacks add on at 7-3.
And that's what happens at this level, folks. If you fall behind major league hitters, they are going to bang you around. This is a 3-1 fastball. Goldschmidt's waiting on it and just blisters it into left center field and continue on the merry-go-round. Scoring easily is Chris Young. Jason Kubel had a good read. He got to third base. And Manny Parra right now wishes he was somewhere else.
Well, he may be. Talking about the work that Baylor and Young have done tirelessly on leveling out his swing.
Good to see him have a good spring. Really good to see him have one.
Part of it's moving the hands. No, but you're right.
Once again, falling behind 2-0.
Now, when Aaron Hill was a member of the Toronto Blue Jays, and that man was not Don Baylor or Kirk Gibson, but it was Cito Gaston. Well, Aaron on 2-0 was told clearly, you have to hit a homer here on 2-0.
Yeah, we don't want, if you hit it in the gap, that's not good enough. Doubles get you released in Toronto. Dwayne Murphy, former hitting coach here. He's now the hitting coach in Toronto. Nope, it needs to go over the boards. Ball 3. Mercy.
Three 3-0 the count. 10 hits for Arizona. Fouls that one off. Chris Young in his hands. We were talking about that. What have you seen? I know the trucks helped you.
A much more drastic movement there. You can see the hands are near the neck in that area. Now they're much further away from him. And that is allowing that bat to stay in the hitting zone a little bit longer. And he has had a great spring because of it. Ball 4.
Yeah, it was quick work down there in that bullpen. I mean, a lot of quick work going on.
Look who we got coming up here, Darren Sutton.
Matt Williams in the third base coach's box. His son, Jake Williams, in the minor league organization, a chance to be one of the extras today. Scored him last night as the third base coach, and you've known Jake since he was about knee-high to a grasshopper.
I remember him hanging around in the clubhouse. He was maybe 8 years old, something like that. I used to work on my WWE wrestling moves on him in the clubhouse. Oh, yeah, I found all kinds of reasons to give him pile drivers and suplexes and body slams, and he loved every bit of it. And now look at him, a professional baseball player. This is good to see.
Played last year in rookie ball here in Arizona. The pride of Brophy Prep in the Phoenix area. Went to South Mountain Community College.
He's a switch hitter.
Gives that one a ride. Well struck right field. Hart going back, looking up. It's off the base of the wall. Jake Williams into second. 1 run is in. He drives in a pair.
A man that rarely smiles, Matt Williams. Can't hide the smile.
Any parents out there watching?
Oh, man. I mean, my heart is racing right now. That is awesome.
Whether it's that good report card, that effort on a sporting field, tell me you can't stand in his shoes as a mom or as a dad right now. Pitching, call to the bullpen. It seems that Matt Williams' son chased Parra from the game.
It didn't take long either, did it? The first pitch he saw from Manny Parra, bang! And Matt Williams, oh, that's just a great shot. Awesome. Good for you, young man.
Fans, check out the scoreboard.
Park, Jake Williams with his father Matt Williams coaching at third, doubled in a pair, puts Arizona on top 9-3. The infield drawn in. Dillard, the side-wheeling right-hander, goes to work. And that one nips the inside corner to Willie Bloomquist. Tim this spring is tuned up just fine. Last year made just 24 appearances in the major leagues with an ERA a little bit over 4. Willie, fly ball right. Runner tags, Hart to the plate. On a hot, another run batted in. Hill scores easily. Good at bat by Willie Bloomquist.
Very good at bat. He's singled and scored this inning now. In his second at bat of the inning. He drives in a run with a sacrifice fly against a tough right-hander.
And again, we saw those smiles a moment ago. This is why Matt was smiling.
Yeah, tell him, smile, Matty.
Well, the youth on his face, the baby face of Jake Williams. There are plenty more years on all those, even those 20-something guys down there grinding through in the major leagues. The world is ahead of that young man. He's hoping to get here. Young man out of Brophy Prep. Well, of course, he looks plenty old. Veteran Jeff Blum. Blum has done just what he is expected to do this spring, and that's pinch hit successfully, play some third, and hit a respectable .275 and stay healthy. That's the key.
Yeah, last year ended up having to have knee surgery during the spring. And just never was himself the entire spring. But that's a little different this year. He's a lot healthier. He's playing a lot better. 3-0 now. Not biting at those tantalizing sinkers.
Blum also walked 7 times this spring, so an on base of .383 in Cactus League play. I mean, his specialty is going to be just this season, pinch hitting. 3-1 the count. Got an old friend on deck. There's Gerardo Parra, Gold Glove winner.
Now, one thing is for sure, every single day, Diamondbacks are going to have some good outfielders. Every day in the lineup, there's going to be 3 good players in the outfield.
Blum on the ground, Weeks lays it back on the outfield grass. A huge inning, certainly, but I think something we won't soon forget anytime soon is Matt Williams coaching at third and Jake Williams, his son, driving in a pair.
Six by the score of 10-3, and of course opening day on Friday here at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks and the Giants, plenty planned. Our pregame show, we'll have Darren Sutton's conversation with the NL Manager of the Year last season, Kirk Gibson. Also, we'll catch up with President CEO Derek Hall, but it will be a great day. All the pomp and circumstance of opening day as Ian Kennedy takes on Tim Lincecum. And guys, speaking of Ian, talk to him today about opening day and just the season in general. He said, yes, there's a target on our backs, but just like Gibby said last year, you know, the mantra of why not us, this year it's why can't we do it again? And he said the target on our back, I think that really falls into the personality of our team, and I agree.
Yeah, good stuff. We're excited for opening day and excited to see what the future holds. Let's get to know Trevor Cahill because he'll play an important part with this ball club this year. He works now with a 10-run support system behind him, as that one is outside. He also works with the support of Gerardo Parra in center field, to name a few. As a matter of fact, Trevor Cahill brought an entire new team to the field with him.
Yeah, wholesale changes, if you will.
And we'll explain to you who they are and where they are. And we'll tell you where they're hitting in the lineup when they come to bat.
That's exactly right.
Gomez on the ground. I can tell you this, that's Cody Ransom, and that's Lyle Overbay on the other side of the diamond. So that took care of a couple of them. There's Lyle Overbay.
In center field, number 8, Gerardo Parra.
Lum is at third, and there the
Right field, number 12.
The Williams duo on the bench. Son on the right, father on the left.
Left fielder, Nigel Morgan.
It was just a pinch hit assignment, but that's just fine. Not many rookie ballers get pinch hit assignments.
I was going to say. In a stadium like this.
Meaning rookie ball last year. I'm sure
Yeah.
he'll be somewhere in A ball. Cahill, tell us about him stuff-wise.
Well, you're going to see a lot of sinkers. Doesn't throw all that hard. Mid to high 80s. Got a very good changeup off that sinker. And there it was right there. You can see that's a changeup in the dirt. Nigel Morgan swinging over the top of it.
Nigel gives that one a ride to left. A.J. Pollock out of Notre Dame has it sail over his head, the new left fielder. And Morgan cruises in with a double.
Just a poor pitch right there by Cahill. He tried to come in with a fastball, tried to get a comebacker, if you will, to the inside corner, and he just left it right out over, and Morgan made him pay. You can see once it in, it goes right back out over the plate. Yikes.
At the plate, Milwaukee. Third baseman, Aramis Ramirez.
And so Cahill now with Aramis Ramirez. Cahill last year in 34 starts, won 12 games. With a 4.16 ERA. 2 years ago, 1.18 with a sub-3 ERA in the American League. He's only 24 years old. Big swing, and he fouls it off. You mentioned the ground ball rates. I mean, his ground ball outs are 3/4 above league average, about 75% higher than league average. Out over the plate, 0-2 the count, Aramis Ramirez.
That was a fastball in the middle of the plate. Cahill got away with that one. Aramis Ramirez made a pretty good living spanking those mistakes. Cahill's also got a breaking ball that he can use. And there it is right there. Nice play by Blanco. Snuffing a would-be wild pitch.
Yes, you got Blanco catching, Blum at third, Ransom at short.
Got some old guys.
Jim Camarota at second out of the minor leagues. Lyle Overbay is at first.
Usually it's the young guys that play the last part of spring training games. There's Overbay, Blum, Blanco, Ransom, Bullock right to second base.
Camarota is there to make the play for the out. So here's a text poll we'd like to ask you to play along with us if you're interested. It's brought to you by Nissan. Which team poses the biggest threat to the Diamondbacks repeating as champions this year in their division? The Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres, or the Rockies? A, B, C, or D to 36929. Again, to 36929. Here's a look at the new infield. There's the breaking ball you spoke of. That was a true curveball. Pollock, Parra, and Evan Fry in right field, with Henry Blanco behind the plate.
Gas right by him at 88 miles an hour, 1-1.
We saw that this spring. He will do that for a sinker ball pitcher. The surprise will be that it's straight.
Yeah, just as straight as he can do it, just above the belt, and that's where you can get Corey Hart. If you can get him to swing above the belt, he's usually going to come up empty. He likes the ball down, likes the ball out over where you can get those long arms extended. And we saw early in the day, he's got really big power. He hit an opposite field home run a long, long ways over the pool. And there's a good breaking ball that time. A check swing.
Two and two, the count. A true curveball there. Will throw an occasional slider. Tried to nip the outside corner. The count is full. So Cahill this spring again, 12 2/3 innings, 16 hits, 5 home runs allowed, a 6.39 ERA. He'd like to take a step in the right direction before it counts.
Yeah, 5 home runs, a lot of home runs in innings in the teens. That's what he's more like. Off the end of the background ball. So scoreless inning for Cahill, his first. We'll see a little more of him when we come back.
Gila River Casinos, and probably the best game in town. It's Kachinko. You can find out and learn how you can play right here at Chase Field by going to the interactive kiosk. You remember we all visited near section 111 during regular season home games. Brought it down today. Actually, we had it at home all winter long in the backyard. Brought it down today. It's going to be set up. We have it in hiding now, but for opening day, Kachinko will return. Gila River Casino.
Yeah, my boys still talk about that little play date they had with your daughters, and they all went over to your house and played Kachinko. I mean, they'll never forget it. They had a great time.
So with that in mind, Gerardo Parra leads it off. Did his thing this spring, hitting .297, a couple of homers, 7 RBIs. The best left fielder in all of the National League last year. The Gold Glove Award tells you that, but so do the numbers. He and the New York Yankees' Brett Gardner are two of the best outfielders, especially in their position in all of baseball. So congratulations to Parra.
Parra's much better.
But it wasn't just because of his arm. I think the natural thing is to assume he won the Gold Glove because of his arm. He was one of 3 guys that wears red jerseys, white jerseys, or gray if they're on the road, and one of 3 guys that had what you would deem, I guess, career years.
Sure. You probably say that about 8 or 9 guys on the Diamondbacks last year.
Bouncing ball into center field. Parra with the base hit. So Parra would be joined by a guy like Miguel Montero, who caught more innings than anyone in baseball, and certainly Ryan Roberts at 30 with 19 home runs. Those are 3 of the career seasons. And so they will try to replicate, if not get better. Hey, Corey Hart's in at first base, by the way.
How about that? He just became a lot more athletic.
A.J. Pollock, the pride of Notre Dame. He's a guy that will be here, one would imagine, pretty soon. Pretty little slider drops in there. Cesar Izturis is at second. Matt Klein at short. And Jeff Bianchi is at third. We'll show him to you in a bit. There's Mr. Izturis. And Matt Klein. Jeff Bianchi. Outside. 1-2 the count. Do you remember Travis Ishikawa?
Sure.
He's in left
field.
field.
Tampa Bay Rays.
He's in left field now. Also stopped off with the Giants as well.
I'm sorry, I was thinking of it. I was wrong. Travis Ishikawa was a good prospect for the Giants. That one's trouble.
Nope, that is an infield roller and a base hit for A.J. Pollock.
Well, Corey Hart just showed his inexperience at first base by not going after that ball. Instead, it's an infield base hit. Hit number 13 for the Diamondbacks. This is one, if you're the first baseman, you go get it and try to get their force out at second base, but instead it just takes way too long for Izturis to get over there and make the play. And the Diamondbacks picking up where they left off. A couple of base hits to start it. Lyle Overbay going to hit with a couple of base runners on.
That outside corner grows and grabs the pitch. 0-1 the count to Lyle Overbay. A nice spring, and specifically the last week and a half or so. Lyle started slow this spring. 18 games as a Diamondback last year, hit .286, homered once. But his homer, a key homer, if you'll remember, reunion night, he was wearing his old school Diamondbacks purple uniform. Also had a big hit to beat Roy Halladay on the road in Philadelphia, literally moments after he was acquired. Had gone home, didn't know if anybody would give him work anymore.
Washing his car in his driveway when the phone rang, and it was Kevin Towers and/or somebody in the organization telling him to pack a bag and head to Philly.
Kirk Gibson called him in about 2 weeks ago. They wanted to see a little bit more use of the whole field. Stands a little taller in the batter's box. Got to break some bad habits, the manager said. It worked. I would imagine, Gracie, where you played for a long time in this game and had a bunch of hits. I would imagine adjustments were always going on, even at the end of your career.
Even in your young years, you're always having to do something because the opposing pitchers are adjusting to you. You got to find a way to beat those adjustments. But especially later in your career, it's just survival mode. Ball 4 to Overbay. Well, we're moving right along.
In left field, number 45, Travis Ishikawa.
Cody Ransom now.
Shortstop, Cody Ransom.
We're talking about Jake Williams, a local product out of Brophy and then South Mountain Community College. Ransom out of Chandler High School. And, of course, Grand Canyon. Bases loaded, 0-1 the count. Well, if you're just getting home from school, all you youngsters out there, the classroom is full with regard to the base pads. It's loaded up. In a 7-run fifth inning, a big part of the story, Arizona plating 7. In on the hands, Ransom into shallow center field. Matt Williams will stop the runner at third. Little bat handle job, but you know what? It's an RBI and another run for Arizona. They lead it 11-3.
Good things happen when you put the ball in play, especially with the infield in. That's all it takes for Ransom. Just flip it out there. And another run for the Diamondbacks. And we've seen, especially the last couple innings, we have seen a lot of red jerseys out on the base paths. 14 hits now for the Diamondbacks here in just the 6th inning.
Henry Blanco takes a strike over the outside corner. So Henry last year had 25 hits all season long. It was a nice year, 25 hits. 3 of them doubles and 8 of them homers.
He did hit some balls in the seats.
This one's on the ground, though. There's 1. There's 2. Another run crosses the plate. That's 12 runs. Joe Saunders is joining us down in the Diamondbacks clubhouse. Joe, how'd you feel today? I know you wanted to come out and have a step in the right direction. Kind of assess your performance for us.
I felt pretty good. It was a good performance. Arm is getting to where it needs to be, and excited for that first start in San Diego. So it was nice to go into the season and on a positive note, and it was nice to get back out there.
Hey, Joe, I noticed you were really using the inside part of the plate to the right-handed hitters today, maybe even a little more than earlier this spring. Am I right or am I wrong in that respect?
No, you're absolutely right. I wanted to, establish my fastball and, establish that good fastball location. And, I tried not to take it as a spring training game and take it as, an opening day start. So, really tried to go out there and, was pretty upset that, Corey did his thing. But, it was a good pitch, and you tip your cap and, turn the page. But, was pretty excited about, obviously, doing pretty well out there and giving my team a chance.
More important for me, I really liked the slapping the baseball to left field when you were up there hitting. That was nice. And it looks like you were kind of giving it to either Daniel Hudson or Ian Kennedy in there somewhere. Is that true?
No question. We always have our thing as pitchers, and, we – it's funny when we get out there and, we try not to laugh, but, we have a lot of fun, and, it was Gracie-esque, I thought.
Nice.
It was better than that. I loved it.
I called it Cecil Cooper and Rod Carew is what I went with there. So
thank you, Joe.
So very well said. Hey, Joe, thanks for joining us down there. Now, as a hitter, we'll still call you Bazooka Joe from your gum incident at Dodger Stadium. As a pitcher, you were fabulous. We appreciate you doing it.
No problem. Appreciate it, guys.
Good luck, kid.
Thank you.
Joe Saunders joining us. We want to thank the Arizona Diamondbacks. Evan Fry with a base hit. On occasion throughout the season, that's somewhat cutting-edge stuff, doesn't go on. The starting pitcher has a decent or a good outing, comes out. We will have the opportunity to have that pitcher join us during the game. So that's a fabulous, fabulous touch there. By the way, Evan Fry, that looked like what Joe Saunders did.
Well, Evan Fry was the hero last night with a bases-loaded triple. He just came in here again and just slapped one into left field. And Diamondbacks just pouring it on. Now you got to start saving some for the Giants.
Really? So,
well sure. Don't you think?
No.
Well, why not?
Because A.J. Pollock and Evan Fry and Cody Ransom won't be playing against the Giants. So let them get their wax in.
Well, they can save some for Shreveport or Portland or something like that.
Jimmy Camarota, 2-1 the count. Jimmy puts that one on the ground. To the bag, stepping on it there is Cesar Izturis. Joe Saunders joins us on a day in which 13-3 his club is on top.
Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you in part by Nissan. Go to Nissan now for our great offers across our full lineup. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer now.
So hit all the biggest matchups this season with the D-backs 10-game mini plan. Choose from games versus the Cubs, the Giants, Phillies, Cardinals, Brewers, and more. That's a pretty good lineup right there. Call 602-462-4600 or visit dbacks.com/tickets. I mean, those are some big-time teams.
You went off script a little bit, and you did it very well.
How do you know?
That pitch is over the outside corner. Just saying. It was very well done. Norichika Aoki, one of the newest members of the Milwaukee Brewers, takes a pitch that is low. Added this winter, and there was a time when Brewers fans and the Brewers organization thought that Ryan Braun would be missing the first 50 games of the season, that this gentleman became even more important. He's had a nice spring. Ground ball to the right side. Overbay feeds Cahill, steps on the bag. The longtime 300 career hitter in professional baseball for the Yakult Swallows in Japan grounds out.
Catcher George Kutara.
Choking up on the bat, that high leg kick that's very common in the Japanese player. Nice play by Overbay, hitting Cahill in stride. He'll have to tell everybody about his 300 average over there.
A couple of years ago, how about 358?
Golly.
A 329 career hitter. He's 30 years old on opening day.
For the Yakult Swallows?
Yes. Off the end of the bat. George Kotaras fouls that one off. And again, he will play a role as the fourth outfielder for Milwaukee. It's going to be a very good team again this year. Milwaukee Brewers will be right there. I know St. Louis Cardinals, a unique change of the roster with Pujols moving to Southern California and Carlos Beltran joining. They need to make sure Chris Carpenter's healthy, though.
Bad neck, right?
I believe so. Cincinnati Reds will be better.
Yeah, they got a couple of big blows in their bullpen, though, didn't they?
Madsen.
Yeah, Ryan Madsen going to miss the entire season.
Kotaras rolls that one foul. But you know this, that if you're a fan of the Cincinnati Reds, for the next 32 years you'll be able to go to the ballpark and see Joey Votto play first.
He got a 32-year deal, did he? Close enough. Good pitch there.
That's the money pitch for him,
George
isn't it?
Kotaras had to stand and watch that. As you said, that's that comebacker. It starts on the inside corner, just stays right there. Kotaras knew it. Good pitch there by Cahill. That's what you're hoping to expect from Cahill, folks, and that is some ground balls and some strikeouts. He's not a power pitcher at all, but he still can strike you out with location and sink.
Travis Ishikawa edged out Brooks Conrad, if you'll remember Brooks Conrad from the Braves, for the final roster spot for the Milwaukee Brewers. That decision was made today. Ishikawa goes to Milwaukee. Brooks Conrad goes to AAA Nashville. That was one of the last battles. They made that decision again today.
Good fastball that time, chewing off the outside corner, 1-2. That was pretty impressive, folks. How about a changeup, Mr. Ishikawa? You made the ball club, but you just got to meet who you're going to face maybe a few times this year, Trevor Cahill.
road trip to the Miller Taste team at 620-620 for your chance to win one of 3 interdivision rival flyaway trips this summer. It's the Miller Lite, Miller Time, triple hops. Stop. Chase Field, all Arizona Diamondbacks. Jimmy Buffett in the background with the fans singing along. A light crowd today, just folks coming on out, sneaking away from work. This weekend it's going to be jam-packed with the Giants coming to town. We look forward to seeing all of you out over the weekend. Club will go away for a week and then a nice long homestand. We can't wait to see all of you then. Opening day, a couple of days away on Friday. It's Tim Lincecum against Ian Kennedy.
Leading off for the D-backs, number 35, Trevor Cahill.
Giants are in for 3. Just a handful of at-bats, only an interleague play for Trevor Cahill.
Vicious rumor is he can handle the bat a little bit.
Really now?
Yeah. Maybe not at the major league level, but from what I heard back in his amateur days, he was quite the slugger.
Well, he used to be a shortstop in high school, and a pretty good one. So I'm sure those rumors are probably true. He's 1 for 10 in the major leagues. Marco Estrada goes to work. It's been a busy spring for him. For goodness sakes. That pitch is up and away. 1-2 the count to Cahill. Caleb Vista High School in Oceanside, California, San Diego area. And he goes down on strikes.
Cahill hoping to get that wide of a plate when he pitches.
Third baseman, Jeff Blum.
Plains gassed up for the umpires as well. Is that correct, Darren?
It is, but I think for Cahill it's interesting because he's in the leadoff spot now with regard to the shuffling of the lineup. So I think he was trying to approach that at bat more like a leadoff hitter. Here's Jeff Blum.
Let's hope Willie Bloomquist does a little better job than that.
A couple of days ago on April 1st, April Fool's Day, Kirk Gibson posted a lineup. It was an exhibition game, I think, against these Milwaukee Brewers on the other side of town. And Kirk Gibson had Daniel Hudson posted. Official Gibson lineup had Hudson leading off. And it was April Fool's, as that one is lined to right. Aoki makes the play for the out. And that dastardly Kirk Gibson was messing with us again.
Now, you know what? That's what he does. And Gibby, really all his life, been a big fan of the pranksters.
Yeah, back in the '88 Dodgers days, he loved that.
I believe that was Alfredo Griffin.
That was Jesse Orozco.
Was it Jesse Orozco that got the wrath of Gibby? I think it was last year. I believe we were going back to Detroit. It was Kirk Gibson and Alan Trammell's return to Detroit, and we got to ask him on the air, you know, or on tape about, you know, being a young player coming up, and he started talking about, well, this guy did this to me. Well, that led to a fight, and then, oh, this guy tried to haze me doing this. Now I beat him up too. It was like, I don't think he liked anybody when he was playing.
He is a lot more fun now.
He gets it. That's the best thing, and that's one of the best compliments I can give anybody is if that person gets it, you know, it's a pretty umbrella statement, but that man understands not only baseball, but he gets a lot of things.
Two of the National League's best managers dueling in this final spring training game, and they both were rookie managers last year. Obviously, Gibson, his first full rookie season, he took over in 2010 midseason for A.J. Hinch.
A lot of people thought Ron Renicky could have easily been the manager of the year in the National League last year as well. It went to Kirk Gibson.
Gibson speaking yesterday with a lot of respect for Renicky, saying we used to compete against one another, we've coached against one another. Kirk will speak a lot with regard to respecting his opponent. Oh, what a nasty changeup that is. And Gerardo Parra's done. Arizona leads by 10. Expo, Miguel Montero. A big jump, Alex Gonzalez from his knees on top of the bag, and he had a beautiful throw. Miguel Montero doing more on defense, and also joining us down in the dugout. Hello, young man. Are you ready to get the season started?
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited about it, and can't wait to get Friday, man.
For you this spring, very good numbers, but I know it was about continuing to work early in the morning, your throwing, your footwork. It's a daily process for you, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's been a long spring training, and but it's been worth it, you know. I've been working a lot and trying to get my arm in shape and my footwork and pretty much all the aspect of catching.
That one's fouled off. Miguel, you caught Joe Saunders today. What did you see of Joe today? Did you like what you got from him today?
Yeah, I do like it today. He was aggressive. He was he fell behind a couple of times, but you know, he got back into the count pretty good, and he made a good quality pitches. You know, he made a couple mistakes, and obviously he paid for it. But you know, I think it was a good outing for him.
You caught more innings than anybody last year, and you said going into the season that for you it was going to be important as Overbay flips to Cahill, and they got him at first. Nice spring training call at the end of the spring training season there. You wanted to catch more than anybody last year, didn't you?
Yeah, obviously. I always wanted to play, you know. I always wanted to be in the game, you know, regardless if I'm tired or not. I just want to be in the game.
You're not a very good bench sitter, are you?
No. I mean, I'm seated.
You drive everybody crazy?
Oh,
I used to be the same way.
I get crazy on the bench, man. I don't know. I can't stay still, you know.
As Torres digs in, Miguel, early in the season, the throws were pretty errant. By the end of the year, you didn't have but a single error for the final 3 months of the year, and you guys didn't let anybody steal. Is that your throwing combined with your pitchers helping you? Was it a little bit of both?
Well, you know, it was a little bit of both, but the pitchers did a hell of a job last year holding the runners and give me a good chance to throw the guys out, you know, and start to get feeling comfortable. So started getting comfortable throwing to the bases, and you know, I got pretty good middle infielders. You know, they picked the ball when I made a bad throws, and that gave you an extra confidence to throw the ball. You know, and I think that was big. You know, especially when we got Healy and McDonald in the middle infielder. It was great just to go and throw.
Hey, I got my final question. Friday, Tim Lincecum, you got a little something for him?
I hope so. I hope so.
Ian Kennedy versus Tim Lincecum. That's a good one, isn't it?
It is going to be a good one. You know, hopefully it's better for Ian.
Yeah, certainly. He was very tough against him. For you, how does a player take the business side, and that's your contract, we're all well aware of your pending free agency. How do you put that on the shelf and just kind of ignore it and play baseball?
Well, you know what? I've been playing for a contract every year since I've been here. So to be honest, I really don't even think about it. Just go out there and play. Obviously, you're going to think about sometimes. But, I mean, when I cross the lines, I'm just thinking about the game.
Well, you're going to be just fine, pal.
Thank you, partner. Best of luck to you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Go get him.
13-3, Miguel Montero. training, then it's for real. Our APS Energy All-Stars, the Williams family. Jake Williams spent last year in rookie ball, the pride of South Mountain Community College and Brophy Prep here locally. With the bases loaded, doubled off the right field wall, played it a pair. The All-Stars, the manager, and Dad, all proud. Miguel Montero saying, smile, enjoy it out there. That's a magical moment.
It really was. It did my heart good, like I said earlier in the telecast. You know, Jake Williams used to sit on my lap in the clubhouse. I mean, that's how far back we go. That's a great moment. Look at him now. Proud father of a professional baseball player.
John Axford, one of the best in the game in the 9th inning.
Well, it's good to see Kid Rock has made the Brewer Ball Club.
Yes, Axford really does have kind of a longer, more scraggly look this year. It's actually not Kid Rock, though, because I don't think Kid Rock throws 96. A lot going on there. 1-0 the count. A.J. Pollock. To right field. Base hit. Aoki made a nice play just stopping that ball because it nearly skidded on by him. By the way, quick update on the Nissan text poll. People are believing that the big surprise will be the Dodgers this year.
You know what, folks? I am right there with you.
So am I.
I am right there with you. I think the ownership change there is going to be nothing but better for those guys. They've got the best pitcher in the National League, and Clayton Kershaw.
Overbay goes the other way. Matt Williams says to Pollock, come on down. The Diamondbacks add on. Pretty piece of hitting by Lyle.
One thing I saw from Pollock right there is he can fly. Mercy was he getting around the bases, picking them up, putting them down quickly, and Lyle Overbay, that was a beautiful piece of hitting. Whack right down the left field line. It stays fair by a foot or so. And I'm telling you, Pollock, I mean, he had an extra gear that old Grace never had.
So Overbay spreads things out very nicely. Pretty piece of hitting. Raul Navarro now hits for Arizona. Promptly has to get to know John Axford. You were finishing your thoughts on the Dodgers.
I just think, they've got Matt Kemp, who could have easily won the MVP award last year. A lot of people think he should have. Then, of course, you've got, as we said, Clayton Kershaw. Like I said, I think also just a new lease on life as far as, the embarrassment that ownership put him through last year in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Kershaw, Billingsley, Chris Capuano, Ted Lilly, and Aaron Harang is the rotation. The infield of Loney, Ellis, Uribe at third, and a very exciting young player in D. Gordon at short.
One of the fastest players you'll see.
Into the dirt, off speed from Axford. Raul Navarro played last year in A-ball. Actually short season A-ball in the end in Yakima, and then played in South Bend.
I'm telling you, he looks like he just came up from one of the local little leagues. That's a young-looking young man.
Just turned 20 out of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, something like that.
Slider is high.
Oh, remember when we used to look like that, Darren? No,
Young?
Not really. Yeah. Twin brother right over there on the dugout.
Well, he's a little bit older than the 10 years old that young man is on the dugout. The 2-2. To the right side and up over the dugout. And to finish the thought on the Dodgers, too, the outfield of Juan Rivera, who had a nice second half, Matt Kemp, and then Andre Ethier. It's his free agent year like Miguel Montero's. Kenley Jansen's pretty good out of the bullpen.
He's real good.
Two and two. There you go, over the outside corner. How about dealing with that as a young man? In Yakima last year, facing Axford now. And here's Henry Blanco. Blanco feels much better now.
Why is that?
That Jamie Moyer is in the National League West.
He's no longer the oldest player in the National League.
A 49-year-old starting pitcher in Jamie Moyer. He talked about Moyer years back when he made his Major League debut. Made it against Steve Carlton when Jamie Moyer did.
1986, is that correct?
I believe so. And gave up a hit to Ron Renicky, who's the manager now of the Milwaukee Brewers.
To that man.
What a story, though, with Jamie Moyer. And the much younger Henry Blanco, 0-2 the count.
At 40.
Oh, boy, that's tough hitting right there.
Nothing 49 years old about Axford there. 97 miles an hour right past Henry Blanco. Here comes another young-looking rascal.
Number 19, Socrates Brito.
Socrates Brito. Socrates.
Brito swings right through it. Socrates out of Azua in the Dominican Republic. Played rookie ball here last year, which means he was just right down there at Salt River Fields. That's a good reminder. If you enjoy seeing the kids play, meaning the minor leaguers, in the summertime when it's nice and warm, you can come out in the morning and there is rookie ball at just about every complex. And you can see some
trying
of the
to find
great
that
young
diamond
talents.
in the rough. Yeah.
Yep.
Never know what you might find over there.
Swing and a miss, 1-2 the count.
You won't see guys like John Axford over there at the rookie ball complexes, though, will you?
If you do, they're rehabbing.
Yes.
But you may see a future John Axford.
That's exactly right.
That pitch is high, 2-2 the count. And when I think about summer ball and the final days of spring training, I get excited selfishly because Christmas is right around the corner.
Oh, boy.
2-2 the count. Low, 3-2 the count. So you might want to think ahead with your shopping and head by the team shop. Visit dbacks.com, the online shop.
Still about 8 months away. Got plenty of time, folks.
The full count, 2-out pitch. Socrates is headed to first with a walk, and nice at bat.
Second baseman, Jimmy Camarota.
Jimmy Camarota played at Rice, Hightower High School as well.
Rice, a big-time college baseball program.
Did good enough work in short season A ball, and you can speak to this, Grace. He had .322 in short season A ball last year, that they moved him to Double-A from short season A ball. He scuffled, but he earned that move.
Well, that shows you not only did he handle the bat well, but he must be able to play some awfully good middle infield. And when you play at a program like Rice University, that's a very high level of baseball. That's one of the best programs in the country.
hangs around on a no balls and 2 strikes. His scout, the Diamondbacks' eyes that found him, Trip Couch, the scout that helped sign Jimmy Camarota, 18th round pick. Born in San Antonio, Texas. And a nice take there. 1-2 the count. The 1-2. Axford nibbles away. He's had to work this inning. A 23-pitch spring training tune-up.
These youngsters are making him work. Laying off tough pitches, fouling off some tough pitches.
Two, got him there. And finally he puts this inning to an end. A run for the Diamondbacks. Hey, don't forget, head on down to the ballpark. Hit that team store. Opening day days away. And then it's Christmas. To score the winning run and get home safe. With a great beer comes great responsibility. Great partnership with Miller Lite. 14-3 the score. Arizona steamrolling into the regular season. Nyjer Morgan to lead it off. Trevor Cahill has been fabulous in his final tune-up. 24-year-old inside. 1-0 the count to Morgan. Nyjer a 300 hitter in 119 games last season for Milwaukee. And in those games scored 61 times. Buried a fastball in. Jeff Blum, that's an easy chance. So far so good for Cahill, huh, Mark?
That's been very impressive, especially last inning. 3 very easy outs. And he's just been efficient with his pitches. He's not going deep into counts. He's not only getting outs, but he's getting quick outs. And it's especially as a position player, if you can spend a minimal amount of time out there on defense, get right back into the dugout, start getting your hitting shoes on, your batting helmets on again, man, that's That's what you want. A guy that works fast, throws strikes, and man, gets you out within 3 or 4 pitches. Oh, thank you.
He will pitch on Tuesday in San Diego against the San Diego Padres. Joe Saunders will pitch on Wednesday against the San Diego Padres. And then the rotation will turn back around. With Saunders pitching in the 5 slot, there will be no off days, starting pitchers skipped in the rotation. They will just work themselves through. You'll get some extra rest on occasion. Bianchi hits a ground ball to short, firing it on across and in time for the out. Nice play out there. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning, cool play of the game. We're good friends and partners with Chaz Roberts. It's always cool when Willie Bloomquist leaves the yard. Only 4 home runs and none this spring, 4 a year ago. Part of the early offense. And so now Josh Prince will hit.
And the Brewers are 1 out away from getting on an airplane, heading to their destination to start the season.
St. Louis Cardinals come to town, a home opener against the Cardinals on Friday.
That's a nice little rivalry they've got, too, going there. Nigel Morgan stirred it up a little bit last year.
He did. And then a heck of a National League Championship Series they played with one another. Then the Brewers go to Chicago, another fun rivalry. That one is popped up and into the seats.
Oh, what a good play down there. Atta boy.
How about that?
Nice go up and then, okay, there you go. Take a look, see here, Darren, folks at home. That's why you bring your glove to the ballpark. He snares it. And a hug from Mom.
1-2 the count.
And the whole time licking cotton candy off his fingertips.
Pitches down and away. I tell you what, regular season to play like that, you're going to get a contract from us.
Yeah, he definitely will. Yeah, everybody's fine. Yeah, I got the ball. There it is. I'm telling you.
14-3 the score. Hey, don't forget, by the way, a post-game show coming up right after this. That one is nubbed foul. So again, if you bring your glove to the game in a regular season game, you make a play that we deem a good play. Up here, we're kind of the scouts. Gracie's the main scout. You'll get 4 free tickets to an upcoming Diamondbacks game. We'll bring you a contract.
You can barehand it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nice take. I'll tell you what. Young Josh Prince taking that changeup is a solid effort there. He will reach. So Prince is at first.
Well, they've had a Prince there for a lot of years. No more.
Aoki now. Sinker. Strike.
His second look at Trevor Cahill.
Inside, clicks away. Blanco looking for it, but it got a piece of Aoki and stayed right there. With sinker balls come wild pitches. Brandon Webb educated us about that.
When I think wild pitches, I think a couple of years ago to. It's been a nice job there by. I think of Esmeralda Vasquez.
Oh, I remember him.
Boy, there was a wild. He could uncork a few, couldn't he?
He could throw a wild pitch. As hard as Josh Weitzel could swing, that's how wild the pitches of Esmeralda Vasquez could be.
Oh boy.
Aoki, a little chopper, and it's foul back toward the batter's box. And the on-deck circle.
Juan Cruz, remember he was on those teams. Juan Cruz, he can uncork about a 98-mile-an-hour fast. We called him Ghost Rider.
Well, you're right. Like his hair was on fire. He'd come out.
Skull was on fire. Yeah, big league movie, by the way. Not quite as good as The Crow, but a really big league movie.
The 2-2, fly ball left, just in time. A.J. Pollock puts it away. 14-3, all Arizona. Kirk Gibson says, nice work, boys. Let's go play baseball. Opening day in a couple of days. The Diamondbacks win it by a score of 14-3. Certainly glad you spent the afternoon with us, spent all weekend with us as opening day comes up on Friday. But until then, after this commercial break, when we come back, our post-game show, we'll get it going with coverage of the Diamondbacks. Todd and Joe in a moment.